Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm saying that I think that people operate just my opinion right now as of today. It could change later, but as of today, it seems to me that people either operate from those two different perspectives, where either you operate from purpose or you've accepted that all of this is really just meaningless. So I'm just going to just have fun.
That's why I said nihilism.
Yeah, that's why I said nihilism and purpose, because they're on the same spectrum, but like on opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's like I think people operate from those two frameworks. Like those are the only two frameworks that I think that people operate from. Because like I don't know if there's a
But what about NPCs?
Okay, so I can't account for NPCs because NPCs are like outliers, right?
They just be out here.
they're just outliers, so it's kind of hard to like put them in the equation. They're variables.
Everybody's doing something. You got the nihilist freaking going this way. Yeah, you got the freaking purpose-driven people going this other way. Right. And like these NPCs is just in the God damn, nigga, all in the way to do something. Pick a lane. Y'all going trying to do your purpose-driven shit. This fucking NPC is just like, when you're on the sidewalk and somebody comes in, you like go left, you go, God damn. If you had a purpose, you would know which to go left or right.
Right, exactly.
I want to go right, and you getting me off my square.
They on the sideline waving their hands like just on the sideline, like you see a video game. They
like
just
inflatable tool, man.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you being a stumbling block? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Yo, what's going on, challengers? This is Challenge Day season finale. This is episode 10.
That's it. Yeah, two seasons in the books.
In the books. We really got some artifacts here online. Yeah, for sure. We got a catalog building. Spotify, if you peep it, give us a holler. You feel me? So, but
got them lining up Spotify, but for you, we bump you to the front of the line.
we can accommodate you. We can accommodate you a little bit. But yeah, guys, we season finale. We're excited about this particular episode. We definitely want to close you guys out with something interesting and something fun and something to take with you guys in this finale. But with that being said, just check us out on our social media handles, of course. You'll see our names in the border, Darwin _ Darko, my brother, that dude Darwin. You'll see my name, obviously Jeff, not Jeffrey. And just check us out on every social media platform that you like to frequent. You know the one. So just make sure you check us out. Yeah, for sure. And give us a holler, like, comment, subscribe. And just let us know your thoughts so we can engage with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So we can get this right. You know what I'm saying? Get it kicking. So with that being said,
we're gonna jump with that being said like 6 times already. So what you saying? What you saying?
I was trying to make it clear.
Oh, you must really mean it. That's what it is. You must really mean it.
This time I mean it. I didn't even know this.
Okay. You know what? Actually, I should have been using that as a cue to jump over and look at this damn this count. I ain't look it up.
Yeah.
But y'all gonna discover with me, guys. Okay, hold on. First, let's see. So last time, this was 2 weeks ago. By the way, we took a week off. We'll touch on that in a second.
Oh yeah.
It was 369, and what is it now? Let's go to our usual Gun Violence Archive. 404.
404.
Not was it 369?
You said 369 earlier. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a jump there. Yeah.
All right, settle down out there in these streets. All right, so it's heating up outside, so maybe people stay inside a little bit more, so less chance of shooting each other. But then again, domestic violence and those, but that's not a mass shooting, domestic violence. But I don't know. Just everybody, you need to relax.
Do you think the weather affects people's
for sure
behavior in that way to make them more aggressive?
For sure. Yeah, it's killing season now in Chirac.
That's a fact.
When it thaws out, when that snow thaws out, what I mean, it's like the numbers. And imagine, remember, this isn't necessarily weather, but you could imagine weather can react like this too. Is the mass shootings was down in 2020 during the COVID years. 2020, 2021. You know what I mean? People ain't congregating a bunch of places, so mass shooters is like, damn, all my people that was supposed to be shooting, they're not congregating. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to go door to door. Like, nah, niggas don't want those kind, because behind some of these doors, you know what I mean, niggas be strapped too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They don't want them kind of problems, and that wouldn't be a mass shooting. They want to make a big news splash, but like, yeah, homicides were down. You know, and that's hey, so it affects it. But okay, so that's your number right now. We're at 404. We're gonna also implement, you know, doing a better job at knocking out these callbacks, these throwbacks, these housekeeping joints.
For sure.
But sometimes they be interesting. I get it. It could be an entire episode, but you know, y'all can go to some other sources for that, or maybe we'll cover it in some other episode. So that's the gun violence joint. The quick update: Jonathan Majors. Right? Yeah, there's been a development.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna go through all the happenings, but one major thing that happened is that he has filed a countersuit.
Yes.
So that's what's up. You know how when you be like, I'm innocent, I didn't do a thing, you know, and like when you didn't do it, you have the feeling where you want to fight to the death to maintain your integrity, to maintain your reputation, your honor, your innocence, particularly if you're going to go to jail or some shit, right?
Absolutely.
And
especially with something like this. And
this entire time he hadn't done that, right? Because it's like when somebody say some shit about you, you know, you see what Cardi B did. There was that YouTube lady that was a line on Cardi B's name.
Yeah.
Is it Cardi B?
Yeah, it was Cardi B. You talking about?
No, Cardi B. Yeah, it was Cardi B.
Lady, yeah,
she was like,
I don't want to popularize her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Right, and so Cardi B was so emphatic about it. She took it to court, and when the times was to settle and all that, she's like, no, I want to go all the way through,
absolutely,
all the way to the freaking judgment, right? Because this person's liable, and you fight to the death pretty much to maintain your innocence, right? And
she got a couple million too.
Yeah, I mean Cardi B got that's chump change for Cardi. That's shopping money for her. But
no, I'm saying Cardi B got her for a couple million.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But Cardi B got enough money where that's just shopping money.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
But
it's the principle that matters.
But that's just gonna bug her. That's just gonna bother her. That 4 million.
Absolutely.
It's gonna fuck with her. And Cardi
it's to make a point. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
you don't fuck you. There's consequences, man. Yes, First Amendment. People keep talking about First Amendment and all this kind of stuff. Like, yes, I love it. It's great. It's how we're able to even do this. Yeah. Right?
Facts.
But that bit still got consequences. You can say all you want.
Yeah. Still liable with what consequences.
And other people get to rebut. You don't get to just shoot your shot and fucking walk away and nothing happens to you. And nobody else can freaking talk that talk.
Absolutely.
Fuck out of here. So Jonathan Majors kind of worried me for a little while. Then I'm like, you know, he hasn't done the countersuit thing, right? I'm like, what the fuck? You know, even Trump with the E. Jean Carroll thing, he filed a countersuit, right? And then he just lost that bit because they're like, no, you raped her. The judge like, you raped her. It may not meet the fine print definition of New York law in terms of rape because it was written way back when. Even raping your wife was not illegal. It was not a thing. It was not a problem. There's no such thing as raping your wife. Now you rape your wife, you get charged. You didn't get charged for something like that back then. That's when the New York law was written. And by today's standards, the New York law hasn't been updated, but the judge was like, we all know what rape is in 2023. That's what it was. And so they freaking threw his case out. But at least Trump did the countersuit. Like Jonathan Majors didn't do the countersuit this whole time. Like, what the fuck was going on? Like, why didn't he do that? Especially since all that other evidence came out that like showed that like, you know what, you're innocent. This guy looks innocent to me.
Do you think that was intentional, or was it more of just like a timing thing as far as like the lawyers just trying to gather all the evidence and all that stuff?
I don't know. I ain't read into it.
It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard to tell exactly.
I ain't read into that much, but the little bit that I read, it didn't really go into the decision making of it. But ever since the first day, remember that lawyer? She's been weird, man. That dude's been on some weird shit. His lawyer just like
absolutely.
Putting all kinds of weird information. I'm like, dude, bro, this doesn't help Jonathan May. What are you talking? Why are you putting and like doing all kinds of press conferences? So like that lawyer is weird. So that this for it to now just come out with this thing, but it is after that other evidence came out. So if you knew the truth from the jump, that you was gonna be exonerated, regardless if that evidence came out. Why didn't you countersue? Anyways, so I don't know. But that's another ball in his court.
Yeah,
that's another point on the board for JM. Okay, so the next thing is Florida schools, man. They tripping.
I'm not gonna lie. This is so egregious.
They tripping.
Like, I love my city. Like we've mentioned this before that we're from Miami. Like I love my city, man, and I've always had an affinity for Florida. But this right here, bro, just it rubbed me so wrong that I was just like, bro, like, because I remember I was telling you at one point I was thinking about moving back to Florida.
Man, but I don't know why.
At this point, bro, I'm like, I don't. It's off the board. It's off the board. They're like, this is crazy.
Like y'all niggas, and this boy DeSantis. This boy DeSantis is his campaign slogan. I don't know if it's the official one for his but he said this thing in rallies multiple times. He wants to make America Florida. You know how Trump is like make America great again. DeSantis' rebuttal is make America Florida, as if like Florida is this bastion of unfeathered independence and freedom in the eyes of whatever the fuck they call it. When they're freaking ostracizing all kinds of kids, they're freaking just denigrating the businesses that like do the employ the most people for the state. You know what I mean? They're freaking trying to completely the complete erasure of Black history and now on some brainwashing shit. It's one thing to like erase us, but it's a brainwash the students that are coming up. And you telling me this past there's this education board that's all filled with DeSantis all of his appointed people. All of his appointed. You're gonna try to teach in schools now that some slaves.
This is so ridiculous. When you say it's
benefited,
bro,
because of the skills they learned while in bondage,
bro. It's so I struggle to even read that line. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've
What kind of gaslighting bullshit is this?
It's insane. Like I was like,
the very next edition, I can see it coming. The next edition to this book. You know how these books get the new edition. You gotta pay for that new edition every year. The new edition is gonna be them being indignant because Black people ain't grateful enough for the privilege of having been slaves to now live in America and having access to shit now.
I can see that happening.
And they might ask for reparations on the third edition. They need reparations. Just the same way the fucking French will try to do to Haiti. What they did do to Haiti. We are living it's not even like it's a time where we was written long time ago. People that could verify ain't around no more. You know, the writing culture wasn't as developed, so you know it was passing down mouth to mouth. So like, maybe it's a game of telephone. No, nigga, people are alive. People are alive during the. How you going? They have this shit now. Also, the Tulsa massacre. They're saying that Black people were on both sides of the Tulsa massacre.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was like,
Jesus Christmas,
bro.
They got it. So they're saying that the government had nothing to do with the Tulsa massacre. Where all those goddamn planes come from?
Right.
You know we didn't have those planes.
Right. It's like, you know we didn't have access to those planes. So what are y'all talking about?
But not even just that. But like even the regular ass white people that live there, they ain't got fucking a fleet of planes in Tulsa. There's only one entity that had a ton of fucking planes that could just wipe out a whole fucking city. And this is what they're teaching in Florida. So it just harkens back to go look at our archives. I don't know if we bookmarked it properly, but homeschooling, motherfuckers. Y'all niggas listening?
Absolutely.
Y'all listening?
those
technical schools or something like that to like go straight to a trade school. Learn some whatever STEM you specifically want to interest, something like that. Put a kid in a program like that. And let them go straight to fucking Google. Fuck a college education.
Facts.
Fuck a college education. Like,
Facts, yeah.
fuck all it. Going through public school. We went through public school in Florida.
Yeah.
And the thing that they were guilty of when we were growing up is because we didn't have updated information.
Yeah,
books was mad old. Freaking, we just a lot of stuff just was missed out, which is like not even covered because they give us such a global, generalized view of everything. Slavery happened, then Martin Luther King, the end. That was it.
That's all it was.
That was pretty much it. Black History Month, you might learn a couple of the people. Rosa Parks did what? And then that was it. Yep. You didn't really learn about Malcolm X. You didn't really learn about even the Edmund Pettus Bridge and all this kind of shit. Tulsa, Juneteenth. Yeah, no, that wasn't teaching us shit like that.
Absolutely not.
So
they didn't know anything about.
But at least they weren't out here brainwashing us off some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we would suffer from was some lack of information. These motherfuckers getting misinformation pumped into their childish heads, and they just and this is the only way, because they know that their mentality is so warped, and that the youth, them not even adopting their bullshit, but they're dying off. So they're like, we need to get our freaking
we need to submit
our shit into, so they do it through the schools. Yeah, do it to the goddamn schools. Florida, man, y'all on some wild shit there, and they freaking.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I might have to leave Florida behind forever. I ain't gonna hold you.
Bro, I don't know if you're trying to raise some kids or something like that, but Florida ain't it. The next thing up is randomly there's just Tupac was in the news.
Yeah,
Tupac was in the news, and they did a raid on a house, and police seized hard drives and laptops at this house that could, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna break the case, but it's gonna lead them to some new evidence, and they're still like, but that's.
So a little info on that particular thing. So this guy, the house that they raided, is this guy who you probably seen as well he's a part of Southside Compton Crips, right? This guy named Keefe D, right?
How old is this nigga? This nigga gotta be at least like 55, 60 years old right now. 60
years old, and it's funny because it was a name that I saw before a while ago, and I was like, I remember seeing this name somewhere before, and I saw him on Vlad TV. Right, Vlad.
That he did an interview?
He did an interview with Vlad TV. Like, there's like a whole interview. He did an interview literally 2 months ago with this guy with Vlad TV. And he's talking about all these things, right? And I was like, this could also be a case of self-snitching.
He was talking about some stuff on Vlad TV that could have been like, wait a minute. Yeah, but this is the thing. They gonna use it against you in the court of law if that bitch gonna stick.
Absolutely.
So the search warrant showed that police were looking for notes, writings, ledgers, and other handwritten or typed documents concerning television shows, documentaries, YouTube episodes, book manuscripts, and movies concerning the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, remember, I told you about these notes. Y'all doing these journals. Y'all doing these journals out there. Right? Among the items seized were several hard drives, tablets, and laptops. So, and there's a copy of Vibe magazine with Tupac on the cover. Like, okay, why this boy was obsessed. It looked like he had a little bit of perception.
Coincidence? I don't know.
Kind of weird. So that's weird. So, anyways, I don't know where that's gonna lead. But that's cool. That I mean, I would normally think you would call this a cold case, right?
It's a cold case. At this point, it's a cold case. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you got new evidence. So, is somebody was still looking into this, or like, what the fuck prompted?
That's the interesting thing, because there are departments that have like that's what they do. Like
they just go cold case.
They just study. Was that a TV show? There are TV shows like that too. Yeah, but like there are actual departments that just they all they look into is cold cases, like and they look into like unsolved mysteries, things like that. So a guy probably just was looking into some documentation, just randomly was like, hold up, this name, who is this guy? Keefe D.
He keeps coming up with this. I saw him.
I keep seeing this guy's name. He's like, I keep seeing this guy's name. Like, hey, we should check this guy out, and that's probably how it happened.
Hey, maybe. so yeah, hey, Tupac is one of my favorite of all time. So it would be great to have some, hopefully
finally have some closure.
Have some closure to this thing. Next up is FIFA. It's happening right now.
Yes. It's been exciting.
The Women's World Cup.
Loki's been exciting.
So you've been checking it out. What's it looking like?
It's. I mean, first of all. And I keep this kind of goes back into what I say about humans evolving. The women are faster, they're more athletic. The game looks even more. I mean, I love soccer anyways, regardless. Male or female, it doesn't matter. I've always loved the game of soccer. My favorite sport has always been football, and then basketball and then soccer, and then track and field because I ran track and all that stuff. But anyway, that's by the wayside. But the games are like exciting. They're like really exciting. Like these girls are battling.
Like, looking it up.
They've
been doing that. But they've been doing that since college. Like, you watch the college soccer.
Yeah, I've seen college soccer. Yeah, and they be getting in.
You watch it in person. Yeah, they be whooping each other's ass on that bitch.
They really do. Like it kind of takes you aback because you're kind of like, I was clutching my pearls, like,
ma'am, that's not ladylike at all.
Like, whoa,
seeing some chick go flying, dog, like fucking slide kick, dog.
Like
they don't be whistling. They don't be whistling that much.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Like, they just let them go at it. Okay.
They don't, and it's like they're really getting after it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and the one thing that people have to understand about like women's sport in general, because they don't have the same physicality as far as like physical ability as like men, they focus a lot on skill. So if you're a person who really enjoys the sport, you can really see like, wow, these women are very skilled.
So, I know. Look, the spirit that you say that, I know you're. I'm gonna give you that. You're saying it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say it like in a derogatory way.
That's what I'm saying. I know you're not saying it. I know you're not saying it. I know. Look, hey, look at me. I know you're not saying it in a pejorative kind of way.
Okay.
But it's giving WNBA what you're saying.
Oh my God.
That's what you're saying. It's giving WNBA. Because that's what they said about the women's sport. Women's basketball.
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. But I get it. Because I ain't gonna lie. The WNBA would be a little bit more exciting if they could dunk. if they get women up on the free throw line.
I saw Brittany Griner. Oh, she's back on the court.
Yeah. I see she's been punching it a little bit too. Like,
she put a dunk up the other day.
I'm like, you coming back with a little vengeance? Okay, I see.
I mean, she ain't windmilling that bit.
She ain't windmilling. Yeah,
she ain't doing all that. I get it.
But one thing that people also have to take away from what I'm saying is that because sports is entertainment. It's entertainment. The more the more freakish that human beings can be and like in their physical ability, the more entertaining it is.
That's what I be talking about. Give everybody steroids and HGH, dog. I want my soccer players to be 6'6", freaking 300 pounds.
I ain't gonna lie,
running 4'4". I just freaking boom. Imagine linemen. Could you imagine niggas as big as Drunk playing as nice as Messi and them?
That would be. Yo, that would be crazy.
Drunk, dog.
That would be crazy. Yeah, and I'm glad. Like it's so interesting because like, but also if you're a person who's a purist of the sport, who just loves the sport of soccer, you appreciate like when you watch them play, like bro, like just the intelligence, the passing, the scoring, the movement, the plays that they drop, the positioning of the players, like. And I'm saying all this to say like the women are just like they really getting it, like they really getting after it, like and teams are surprising other teams. For example, England is the team that Haiti played, right? And England is number 4. The women's English team is number 4, and they only won by 1 point, 1-0.
And by one,
and by because
Haiti lost. Is that what he's not telling y'all, right? Yeah, this nigga's bearing the lead. This nigga's stretching it out. This nigga's stretching it all the way out.
I was definitely.
They lost. It's unfortunate. Haiti made the FIFA World Cup. They were there. They were there for the show, but they lost to England.
For all the people who was people what I was trying to do. Obviously, I failed at it because Darwin wouldn't let me get away with it. So it is
not on my watch.
It is what it is.
Not on my watch.
But we at least celebrate some of the smaller wins, right? Our goalie. She did her thing. She had 10 saves.
Bro, 10 saves. Here's what it is, though. I used to be a keeper. Right, in high school. And like, dog, they don't never remember your saves, man.
They don't
never remember your saves, dog. I got 3 scored on me, but I had freaking 15 saves. But that's because
social media wasn't out during your time, man. We couldn't celebrate you on social media.
Saves, dog. Yeah. How many? I damn near blew out my fucking lungs and freaking my throat was sore at the end of the game. Because I'm yelling at my goddamn defense to push out. Yelling at them to push out, dog. Give me some space.
It's hard, man. Being keeper is hard, man. It is hard.
Shots to hurt. You know what I mean? 10 saves and 1 goal. And that was off a PK, which is a 50-50 shot. That was a PK.
Yeah. So and that tells you like how tight the game was. Because because the PK is 50-50. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're gonna get it sometimes. You're not. You know
not
what I'm
only
saying?
is the PK 50-50, the fucking flag is kind of 50-50.
Yeah, that too.
So,
that too.
Whatever.
So so the small wins though, even though Haiti lost, the small win is that it's only one goal that they scored. So we're not really far behind as far as like excuse me, as far as like the scoring in the group stage, because that's a big part of it, like moving forward. So we're only down 1 point. Yeah. 1 point, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like when the US beat Vietnam, they smacked them like
3-0.
3-0, yeah. So they like really behind, you know what I'm saying? Like, so and in group stage, I think it's like 5 games in the group stage before you go to quarterfinals. So before you go to the round of 16, sorry. So it's a little bit of a win, but outside of that, like just the sport itself, man, FIFA women's soccer, if y'all ain't watching, y'all tripping. It's exciting. It really is exciting, man. You're really seeing the best of the best of women.
It's taking place right now in New Zealand and Australia. So the hours are a little weird to be watching sports, but
because that game was at 5:30 in the morning. That Haiti game, that joint.
But you want to support the ladies over there. The U.S. women's team, is the best in the world, really.
Yeah.
They are, of course, they easily coasted through Vietnam, and they're gonna have another pretty good route, I think, to get to the finals for that. So
I'll just, if I'm just gonna be objective here, the USA team, they almost kind of look unbeatable right now. Like the women's, like just the way they've been playing, like they it almost kind of looked like
back to back.
Yeah, it looked like they're going. It looked like that. I ain't gonna lie.
Back to back.
I gotta keep it real. I love my country, but I gotta keep it real.
That would be shit.
But that would be dope though. If they make it. You know what I'm saying?
It would have been like Miami Heat against Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be that. It'd be a wild freaking Cinderella story. But we'll see how that goes as that unfolds. Last but not least, we were off last week because we went on a little vacation. Some of the guys got together. We tried to do an annual thing, and we switched it up this time and went to some nature shit. Went to some nature shit. We going fly fishing, going to the mountains and Smoky Mountains and hiking and whatnot. What's your takeaway from the trip there?
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. It's hiking is something that I rarely do, but I never went on like a real hike. You know what I'm saying? And it was, and that bit was it was different. Yeah. It was because
elevation changes and everything.
Yeah. Oh man, like the weather changes, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's amazing. Like it's amazing to kind of like shifting of weather, just you elevating. Like even your breathing changes because it gets thinner and you start to like see different things and it gets quieter. It gets a lot quieter the higher you go. That's one thing that we noticed. I was like, why am I not hearing like any birds or anything? Like it was so quiet. We were like, yo, are we like in another dimension? Like
the birds that's up there, ain't no little chirpy chirps. Those birds up there are like some freaking raptors and eagles and shit like that are quiet and stealthy.
Super quiet.
And just gonna swoop in and kill some shit real quick, probably.
Absolutely. And it was just amazing, man. It was amazing to kind of see what I was able to see like as we were elevating, as we were going up in elevation. And just like even like the fly fishing thing, it didn't. The fly fishing thing was obviously a little disappointing because of what we actually wanted to do, but it was still fun to be out there, right? Just to kind of
So that's the thing is that for me, the fly fishing part was it was itself an adventure, right?
Yeah, in itself, yeah, for sure.
I think I see some. I thought about this and I see some efficacy in that style of fly fishing. Like we're talking about. A lot of big boulders and stones climbing over these things. There's like nooks and crannies of the river that's flowing. Sometimes it's flowing really hard, really rough. Some places are very mellow, whatnot. And there's fish there. They're not big, right? They're not big, right? But there's that activity itself. I can see how that can be a particular set of fly fishing. The thing that you listening to this right now think of when you think of fly fishing is this whole expansive kind of lake or maybe a wide ass river. You know what I mean? That you're weighted there, and it's like you do the whole thing with the rod back and forth. You know what I mean? And then and then you do your thing, whatever. So that I think there's space for both. So I think I would have liked to actually do both. Like if I would have known that one was an option too, the river, the boulders and stones and stuff like that, I'd be like, yeah, I'll try that as well. You know, for fly fishing as well.
That's a good point. That's a good point, I think. Go ahead.
But overall, my takeaway from that particular experience though is so. If you don't know now, you know, I'll share with the audience here that I had foot surgery last year, and I hadn't really done any kind of, you know, it's a long healing process, and I hadn't really done major activity on my feet like that. No running, no basketball or anything like that. Fucking tennis. I used to play tennis sometimes twice a week. None of that shit, you know. And I really was just like making sure I fully healed. I tried not to rush it because the doc told me it could take up to a year, right? So I took that whole year.
Wow, I didn't know it was gonna be that long. Okay.
Yeah, he told me it could take up to a year, right? And every once in a while I still might get a little phantom pain, whatever. So that going up and down that river on them rocks and stones and like some underwater, some overwater, gotta stretch and put my foot in this little crevice to like get my leverage and like bending my foot and all that. And I really put it through the paces.
The test,
right. And I was like, it feels fine. Now it's still I still might get more soreness than the average person, but in terms of like injury, there was nothing like that. I didn't like set my healing back by you know a month or 2 months, something like that. If I would have did something like that maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I could have potentially fucked up some of my healing process or whatever. But like my shit's good. It's Gucci. And it got me to where I'm I was like, yo, let me go back. So when I got back home, I was like, let me try this shit out, you know? And so I went out, hit the treadmill. I hit the treadmill, and before I would be on the treadmill, I would walk, you know, because I could walk, and that's what I was doing. But like running is a different beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I was running. I was like, I think my foot is good. I think let me go. And I got on the treadmill. I'm going to do 10 minutes. I look up. Oh shit, it's been 15 minutes. I like, yo, I'm good. I'm Gucci. So maybe I'm not all the way healed because I went out to the track this morning. To the track.
So you went out to the track, okay.
but I didn't, you know, I actually was on the grass part. I didn't go out to the track. I was on the grass.
Okay.
And I was doing some 100-meter flies and some 100-yard flies. And I still feel something there.
You still,
because that was like kind of sprinting. I wasn't sprinting. Because also I don't want to pull a hamstring because also I haven't freaking really ran in a long time. So I'm not trying to go for like my muscle memory could kick in and I could just go way too fast than my muscles ready for and I could pull something. So I wasn't trying to do any of that. I'm still testing. So I go out there and I'm like that pounding, you know what I mean? Like when you because your weight comes down, it goes up and it goes down and you have to like push off and so you know I might still keep that up maybe for, you know, once a week. I might do that on the grass. You know what I mean? I think I have to do that for a little while because what I do want to get back to is running my 5Ks. I used to run these 5Ks.
Let's jump into the challenges. It looks like you got an interesting visitor at your spot. You want to go ahead and explain what that is as far as the challenge goes, bro?
I love my wife. I do. You know, absolutely. Without question. I think she a hater, dog. My wife might be a hater, dog. My wife might be a hater.
Wouldn't be the first.
I come home.
Why right? She hating?
I look over to the side and I like, hey, what's that over there? What's going on over there? My trash thing kind of tilted over a bit. I go and I investigate. Yo, and there's this tortoise.
That's
it's a little tortoise.
That's crazy.
Just like rummaging through, right? Like it's the size of like this thing. You know what I mean? Maybe this, you know, this little thing here, right?
Yep.
This is what is this? This like Post-it note holder, right? And I'm like, oh snap, it's a whole ass turtle. I was like, oh shit, I'll get some ideas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh snap, I got a turtle now. I didn't
Yeah.
know I needed a turtle, you know what I mean? I wasn't in the market for a turtle or a tortoise, you know what I mean? Whatever. And a tortoise, and I was like, maybe I'll take it inside, right? So I got the little container out there, right? So I scooped it up in the container. I grabbed it, put it in the container, and I'll put up a picture. We'll put up a picture here, right? To show up. I named the guy. I didn't name him. I gave him potential names. I gave him potential names, right? Figured I call him Ninja. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
That's my Ninja. You know what I'm saying? Just call him Ninja, right? Throw it out like that. And a second runner-up would have been Michelangelo. That was my favorite Ninja Turtle. Clearly, this turtle that I found is a party dude, right?
Yeah.
Like Michelangelo, who's also a party dude. You know what I'm saying? So I took him inside. I rinsed him off. And I was like, turtle food, I guess. I mean, I got this frozen pizza, but that's going to take a minute. I don't know if Buddy might be hungry, you know what I mean? If he eats pizza too. I'm sure he does. But I had some like lettuce and junk and watermelon and stuff. I'm like, oh, snap. I be seeing some like
definitely lettuce. Yeah.
I be seeing them. They be eating that kind of stuff, right? On the YouTube and whatnot. So I put the little thing in there. I put a little something in there, and I was holding it in like upstairs. Right? I just put it upstairs, and I just left it alone. And I got it to my computer. I was like, damn, I'm doing all kinds of turtle research now. You know that kind of turtle. We about to have like, dog. Like I've seen some enclosures that people build, dog. They incorporate it into their freaking like living room set and shit. That shit looking clean, you know. It's like got a mini clean Jurassic Park kind of like in your joint, right?
It's pretty cool.
And so I'm like, yeah, but this tortoise that just came through. Like I'm about to change this little ninja's life, dog. This little ninja that came up. I found him rummaging in the trash. I'm about to save the boy.
It's so crazy.
You know to come up he was about to get.
I'm wondering like how, like what is the odds of that? Like that
it was so weird. I've never seen a turtle around here before. But you know, there's streams and shit like that behind the house.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's like all kinds of weird stuff going on back there, right? I remember one of the things deer. You know what I mean? That's one of the things running through our neighborhood and stuff like that. And I bring the good news. To my wife, we have, my light is all fucking up over here.
It's all
we have a visitor, and maybe a new member of the family, right?
Maybe. The tortoise, they live for a while.
They live for a while. Outlive us, right?
Yeah.
But there was side note, there was a little bit of serendipity, I guess, if that's the right word.
Okay.
So the anniversary for Lady's death was just the other day. It was the day before I found a turtle. Right? And so I'm, when that happens, I'm thinking about Lady. I know,
very interesting.
Think about Lady, and it's a sad thing. I love seeing her old pictures and stuff. I have her posted all over, the house and stuff like that. And so pictures of her and stuff. So I see her all the time, and I think about Lady all the time. Lady was the goodest dog ever, bro. And then the day after, this turtle kind of just shows up. Right? I don't know if I felt like some kind of like, like it was drawn to, like it was supposed to be meant to be. Or something, right? Man, my wife is like, man, that shit going back outside. She's like, that been going back outside. You can't have that damn turtle. It's all kinds of talking about parasites and shit, and it's an endangered species and whatnot. Anyways, apparently it's illegal to keep wild tortoises like in Virginia. There's like it's against the actual law.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So I didn't know that. Like if one gets into your property or something like that, you can, I think it said you can like move it out for your property. Like I guess if you, I don't know where could you put it onto the street? I don't know, but you can't claim them as pets, dog. They're not lost and found animals. They're still wildlife, right?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm not gonna be freaking sharing plates with the turtle. You know what I mean? Well, how am I gonna get parasite from this thing? So, anyways, I have to wash my hands every time after handling them, whatnot. You know, I might have forgot once or twice. So, stay tuned for a couple episodes from now to see what happened to your boy.
to see if Darwin turns into a Ninja Turtle.
You know what I'm saying? That's if Miles Morales got hit from a spider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I could be that guy.
Yeah, we can't rule it out entirely.
So I don't have the turtle, but I took a quick video. I put it out in the back. I put it outside. So the feds, if you're listening, I put it back outside.
Outside.
Okay. I put some lettuce and stuff and watermelon on the ground, and I left it there, and I went away. And it's gone. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Or is it? Because I went and I was walking around the yard, and I picked up there's a cover on the fire pit. And that motherfucker was hiding under the cover of the fire pit. It wants to stay here. It wants to be. He knows it's got it good. I feel like I could build like a whole, maybe like, how about this? What if I built an enclosure outside?
I feel like somebody probably have thought about that already.
It's still outside. I never took it inside my house.
Outside, yeah.
And that enclosure, come on. He ain't doing better than that out in these streets. Woods.
He low-key got like his own natural enclosure. So he might be alright a little bit.
I'm gonna make it resemble, you know, I'll put some shrubbery in that mug. I'll build a little rock, little thing for you could climb up and, you know what I mean, and get up on the rock and survey his land, you know what I'm saying, that he got in front, you know what I mean? Put a little swimming little pod in there.
That's strange. So that means that he does have a little bit of like a magnetism to.
I don't know. I think that boy was just scared. He's just trying to find somewhere to hide. Yeah, because that was a good hiding spot. Up under the thing. Like, I wouldn't have found him ever. Like, I never. Well, I wouldn't have picked up the cover off of that thing, off of the fire pit until fall. You know, because it's not gonna be cold until then. You know, so I was just kind of like, I saw him going that direction when I left. I was like, I wonder if he went up under this thing. So I just went to happen to check, and he was up under there. So I haven't checked since then. So it's like Schrodinger's turtle, Schrodinger's tortoise. You know what I mean? Is it there? Is it not there? Is it dead? Is it alive?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know. But yeah. My wife made me get rid of it. So it's a challenge that of listening to I guess the cooler heads, listening to cooler, somebody who doesn't have as much stake in the game.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Say what you say?
I said who doesn't have a dog in the fight?
Dog in the fight, right? Doesn't have a turtle in the fight. So that's where I landed. That was a challenge, and to taking advice and having somebody save you from yourself, I guess.
Sure.
The one nigga that get locked up for stealing turtles.
That is a crazy headline. It might not be as crazy. It might not be as crazy as the guy who threw an alligator in
the Wendy's drive-through.
Wendy's drive-through.
But that headline would say former Florida man goes to prison for stealing turtle. They gonna put Florida man in that title.
Yeah, they gonna fit it in somehow.
So that's what happened with me. What you got?
Yeah,
top that.
Yeah, I don't think I can top that, but I'll just jump right into it. In my case, I actually went off of a recommendation. So I have talked a little bit about like dental hygiene recently, and as you can see, my mouth still looks a little funny. I still feel like I'm kind of getting used to having braces. It's more annoying than anything, but it is what it is, right? So I've had a bit of crowding in my bottom row. So with crowding, typically the way to rectify that is that you have to actually pull teeth, right? So I actually got a tooth extracted last week. Yeah, I got a
So you had to what? They had to like remove the braces, get the tooth out, put the brace back on, or some shit?
No. So the way they do it is you know how you have the wire that runs through the brackets. They just made it sure that it stopped at the tooth that needs to be removed. And they leave like the brackets on the tooth outside of the one that needs to remove. So for example, like the wire would stop like right here in the middle of my mouth, and then you have okay, this particular tooth needs to be removed, so there's nothing there, and then they'll just put like brackets on these other teeth that's back here, like my premolars and all that stuff. So that particular tooth will have nothing on it. So like when the dentist goes in, and that's what the orthodontist did. So when you go to the dentist, they just go and they can immediately identify, okay, the specific tooth that needs to be extracted. They go ahead and extract it, and then you'll go back to like after obviously that area heals up as far as the gums go. You'll go back to the orthodontist, and they'll take out the wire that they've already put in, and they put like a whole new wire in there so it can actually start to do its job as far as correcting.
They ain't all this shit before you got the damn thing put on.
Yeah. I mean, all this stuff was told to me.
but why didn't they take care of the crowding thing before from the very jump? Before doing any of the wires, any of the braces?
Well, so
those are the same teeth we had last year, innit? How long you had them teeth?
Yeah,
you had them teeth year before, right? Same teeth.
Yeah.
What the fuck? 2 weeks after you get the damn thing done, now they figure, oh shit, bro. Hey, hold on. Wait, I forgot. I didn't mention this to you. I don't know if it's this bad over there in Maryland. But in the Northern Virginia area and even in DC, it's a lot of these dentists, specifically dentists, be on some scammy shit. They be some scammy shit. This one dentist tried to get me to extract the whole tooth, and then he said I might need a root canal. Right?
Oh yeah.
Good thing my wife is in the medical field, so she linked me up with a dentist friend of hers. I got an exam done, and that fool was like, it's your tooth is kind of loose right now because something happened, but it's gonna be fine. You don't need to. The last thing you ever want to do is to remove a tooth as an adult, right? Getting a fake tooth or whatever the hell they do to fill that space is gonna be some problems gonna be worse than others. But if you can keep your original tooth, no matter what, if you can keep your original teeth, that's the best thing you can try to do, right? And this dude tried to get me to extract the whole tooth. All I had to do, this dentist told me, he said, you're healing perfectly fine. He said he measured the movement. He's like, come back next time, and I measured again, and the movement was less. And he's like, your tooth is fine. It's just gonna take time to heal back up to firm up in that space.
And that's why, yep.
Save my tooth. No root canal. No fucking extraction. Yeah, they be on some scammy shit. I've had other ones that be trying to like push some other shit on me too. So
I definitely, that's definitely a good thing to mention that for sure, which is why I always get like several opinions about a particular treatment plan. So like, but the dentist that I've been going to is like she's legit. Like I definitely vetted her before, and it's a family dentistry, so it's kind of dope because they kind of keep everything like together as far as like, I mean, it's a family dentistry, so like you really build a relationship with these people, and you kind of can like look at their merits, their accomplishments. She has like a bunch of research on things like that. So like I really vetted like this particular person, and also this orthodontist too as well. Obviously looked at reviews, talked to people. So like I really did like my due diligence as far as like making sure that they legit. So in this particular treatment plan actually was presented to me before putting everything on. He was like this. She was like, this is what would need to be done if you want the corrective.
And they said that you had to get the braces first and then get the tooth extracted after.
No, they didn't say I had to. It was my choice. They were like, you can get it now, or if you want to get it when your tooth is extracted, what do you want to do? It was my choice. They just presented it as an option, like, hey, if you want to get it now, we can put it on now, and you can get extracted later, or you can do it later, or it's up to you. They literally give you the treatment plan and they present it to you like, what do you want to do? So they were like, oh, you got to do it. Like they never, it was never that way. But yeah, but I have heard of like, actually, short little story. I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly. So you remember that surgical procedure that I had like years ago with the whole thing that was my one. So there was one guy that I went to that wanted to do a procedure that was like very like invasive. That was like he was like, yo, you don't want it to get cancerous, so we want to just remove like at least 3 of those teeth that's in that area, so just to make sure that there's no cancer cells that can reproduce and all that. Scientifically, it makes sense because you want to eliminate any chance of cancer cells even existing. But it's like, but there's other.
You first need evidence of cancer though to even.
Right, exactly. So I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I was like, I hear what you're saying, and I'm gonna get back to you on it, right? Because I did a whole conversation with him. I'm like, I'm gonna get a second opinion on this. I went to another specialist right up in Baltimore, who's actually like nationally renowned. Like she's known as like one of the best in the country, right? And I told her what this other oral surgeon said about this particular this particular case, and she was like, that's a very aggressive approach. And she was like, nah, I don't think you need to. She's like, I don't think you need to do that. That's, and then she put me up on games. So she was like, if I'm being honest with you, there are some specialists who are very aggressive. That's just how they operate. They're just very aggressive, and they are in cahoots with like pharmaceutical companies, these different hospitals, things like that. Like she's like, there are some that are like that. But I'm not like that. I'm very conservative. Like I'm very conservative in my approach. I'm thorough in what I do. Very thorough, and you didn't come here for no reason. Like you obviously you saw my credentials, you saw my references, like you know like how we operate here. Like, and she was right.
It's something about that field that is going on in this area. I've never experienced anywhere, so I don't want to say this is for dentists around the country, but when they say 9 out of 10 dentists, it'd be like a lot of that 10th dentist be up around this area, this Northern Virginia area. All of these would be that 10th dentist. That number 10 dentist be all of them are up here. They're all trying to just get auxiliary bread off of you.
Yeah, it is very strange. So that's why when you said it, I was like, I kind of can understand that, because I definitely kind of almost went through something like that. But like that's why people should definitely make sure that you're getting second and third opinions, especially if it's something that's
if you can afford it, if you have the insurance for it. That's what sucks. I mean, we don't have the best healthcare coverage in this country, even though there's hospitals and stuff everywhere. Well, actually, there's still some hospital deserts out there too in America. There's a whole nother chapter that we need to cover, but. So what happened? So you got the tooth removed.
Yeah, I got the tooth removed because I got
your braces adjusted.
Yeah, because I had extra teeth anyway, so like it was fine anyway. So
you just got teeth to spare, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I had to spare. Actually, it's funny. Somebody that I know actually had this is wild. She had 10 wisdom teeth. 10. I was like, what? Crazy. She said she had teeth that were like.
Mommy had the Alice in Wonderland smile.
Yeah.
Cheshire Cat. Joe go way back, boy.
Yeah, she said she had a lot. I was like, I never even heard it. That's wild. But she said she had to go through a whole thing with that. But she got like 9 of them joints removed.
Mommy's face probably looked different.
Yeah, she said her whole joint. She said her joint was like.
Yeah, it's just like.
It was crazy. Yeah,
you're not the woman I married.
Right. So it was wild. So I ended up getting it extracted. And it took like maybe 24 to 48 hours to like get the swelling down or whatever. And now it's fine. Like my face looks normal now, but like, it was a fairly quick procedure. They really just numbed up the area well. She shook it, shaking it, got it out. I didn't even feel it when she got it out. But like, you start feeling a little bit once like the pain, the numbness start to wear off a little bit. But I had, had ibuprofen prescribed, and it was good as long as I took it at the right time and managed it. So I never really had like real pain or whatever. And it's healed up pretty well. And I basically it's just another stage of it, of having braces. It's Bruh, and braces
this is some wild shit. This whole like I'm getting surgery, you got the surgeries and braces and all this kind of like this age, man. The older you get, you just we're gonna be androids.
Probably. And honestly, like braces are, when you think about it, braces are actually in itself, it's an aggressive procedure to change the physiology
bone
of
structure.
Your mouth, your bone structure. Like it's pulling on it all the time. Now, granted, your the way that the human body is, like your teeth are actually kind of always moving very slightly, just the way that it's designed. But like it's being forced in place with the braces all the time. There's always tension. So like it in itself is an aggressive procedure, but it's effective. So
after the braces are done, well, first of all, how long you have to have them on for?
18 months.
Okay. After that, do you have to like wear something?
Retainer, yes. Yeah. You got to wear a retainer. I'll have to wear a retainer. So that'll be a part of my life. Is like I got to make sure.
So for the rest of your life, you have to wear that.
From what I know, that's okay. I don't know that for certain, but I know that people who have had braces before, that's what they've told me, that they've had to like continuously wear their retainers, and they told me that a lot of them they had to wear it. It's a normal thing that you have to wear at night. You just have to not, like some people they'll wear it like every night, and they'll be good during the day. They'll just wear it like when they go to sleep every night. Like I know somebody person who had it before, and she was like, yeah, even to this day, she's like, I still wear my retainer. So it sounds like something that you kind of have to have. And
yeah, you remember them 18 months that you went through. You don't want to go back to that shit.
Right, exactly. So
getting braces again at 60.
Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, it's funny. When I went to orthodontist, the specialist, she actually told me that there's a person who's 72. 72 got braces at 72, man. She was like, the only reason I didn't get them before is because I couldn't afford to. Can you imagine?
That
72 years old, and that's what would that
man? You made it, dog. You 72, dog. Just don't worry, your teeth are fine. Your teeth are fine.
That's what I was.
You made it to 72.
I was like, come on, man, you're 72.
Your teeth are fine.
You're 72, yeah. But she was like, she wanted it, so she got it.
Okay,
like, wow. So that's basically like my challenge is just like dealing with the crowding in my mouth and like having to take the L of like having the braces, having to deal with that, getting my tooth extracted, and like, but knowing that it's really a means to an end, right? Because it's gonna be a better, well, number one, a better smile, but number two is gonna like, like the grinding of the teeth. Like I'll have a better like aligned mouth where like that's gonna be less likely to happen. Yeah, better alignment. It's gonna like prevent like a little bit of an overbite. So it helps my dental condition a lot better in the long run, and like so my gums won't recede because of my teeth shifting. It's a bunch of stuff, but that's the challenge that I dealing with crowding, got distracted, and it's just, again, it's a means to an end, and that's that. So
what up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show, but I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
The Earth as we know it could possibly
it's over. That chapter is closed.
It's very possible based on some of the experts we have as far as our the smartest minds in anthropology, geologists, different scientists from everywhere are saying that it's possible that Earth could be moving into a new epoch, which is a new phase of just the Earth evolving, a new era. Which typically happens every several millions and millions of years, which is crazy to even be born in a time that, if that is the case, we got perfect timing, to be alive. Like that's kind of crazy.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. So
no, they can last. It can last a millennia.
Yeah, exactly. It could last a millennia. It could last a millennia, but the changes happen over millions and millions of years. So like, so it's kind of, so the timing is kind of wild, is what I'm saying. So like, bro is definitely gonna talk a little bit more about it, and just to kind of be more concise about what we refer to as like a new epoch, in the Earth's evolution. So you want to go ahead and take it from here? So
scientists have made the case that Earth has entered into this new epoch. It's known as the Anthropocene. Mm-hmm. The epoch. So in Earth's 4.6 billion year history, it's usually these epochs happen through natural causes.
Yes,
but they're making the case here that it's through human caused action that it's human induced, and so they call it the Anthropocene. So while the term has been widely used for many years now, only geologists can officially denote the start of a new epoch. Specifically, experts looking for this golden spike. So it's kind of like a tipping point, right? If you ever read Malcolm Gladwell's Tipping Point, you kind of get what I'm saying here, which is a place on the planet where evidence of the start of global change is etched in the sediment. So like,
I just thought of something very random, but it's kind of funny in my head for some reason. I was like, it's like humans gave Mother Nature a BBL, and she didn't earn them glutes by doing squats, man.
They don't match. The hammies don't match the glutes.
Hammies don't match.
They don't match the glutes. We done changed up the plan. So and then you think you're gonna put 315 on the rack because you got a BBL? You think you got to look for it, and you're gonna try to go squat that bit?
Yeah, no, that's
you're gonna collapse.
Yeah,
you're going to collapse, and
sure.
The Earth wasn't ready for them changes, and shit is going sideways. Each epoch lasts millions of years, making the designation of a new epoch a significant finding. Right?
That's so crazy.
So they went into specifics on the characteristics of what they're calling this Anthropocene, right? And it basically, actually, let me describe first how the science kind of works, and them doing it. Sort of like the tree rings. You know, you're anybody who's ever gone through middle school, you learn about the tree rings. You know what I'm saying?
It tells
you got the tree, the diameter, or whatever of the tree, and then like you can see the different rings, and you can gauge how old the tree is, or what was the environment like and during that particular ring, because there might be one more carbon here or more nitrogen in a different section of the tree, remnants of it, or whatnot, right? So they said sort of like that. So Crawford Lake is thousands of years old. So this is in Canada. This was in Canada, right? I think it was Canada.
Yeah,
the lake is thousands of years old and so deep that everything that falls into the lake is preserved in layers, right? Like the tree ring thing, right? And so the planet, whatever happened with the planet, whatever sediment lands in the bottom of that lake over time, and it builds over time, is just it's been there for thousands of years. And so you could judge, you take a core sample and you could judge the different layers that's there, right? It was the best place to illustrate the new epoch because it shows that all the different components of the Earth system and the way they interact with one another are fundamentally different than they used to be. So this is an earth scientist from Brock University in Ontario made that statement there. So what are the characteristics? The Anthropocene epoch comes just under 12,000 years after the previous epoch, the Holocene. So indicating that the epochs are switching faster. Remember, it's supposed to be millennia now. This is 12,000 years, right? They're switching faster than they did previously. Humans are largely the cause of this. Now, mind you, they're not saying that the Earth doesn't undergo epochs. So they try. This is how these climate deniers try to get you, right? They say, "Oh, the Earth goes through these changes all the time." They're not saying the Earth don't go through these changes. They're saying that this is happening a lot faster. They're
a lot faster than
it was supposed to. What it normally be when we calculate all the other ones in the past. We talking about ice ages and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Indicating that the epoch are switching faster than they did previously. Humans are largely cause of this. Evidence found in this lake dates is beginning on the proposed Anthropocene. The date they're thinking it in 1950. 1950 is when they said this was like the precipitating time frame when there was a significant increase in the human population and a sudden spike in radioactive plutonium from nuclear weapons testing found in the sediment.
Absolutely.
Other indicators include nitrogen and mercury released from burning fossil fuels, microplastics. Plastics weren't invented in the freaking 3000 BC. Okay, you didn't have plastics. Fossil fuels really is what helped us develop plastics, and a lot of it is made out of, that's what it is. And nitrogen from fertilizers, right? They're going to say it's not rocket science to see that a planet has been operating under different rules than before. So we're in a new epoch. The evidence is there that this stuff is settling into the Earth. You're talking about radioactive testing, like from the 50s. They can see how the half-life of this material to kind of gauge how long it's been under there. They know that it didn't just happen.
This is why that film Oppenheimer is such an interesting film to probably even
I haven't seen it
watching. I haven't seen it yet either, but I've been considering it based on this conversation we're having, because a lot of that testing, and there's a lot of like morality and questions about the human race and the power given to the humans and all that stuff for like destruction and all that within that movie. So all these things are addressed. Climate change, all these things are addressed in the movie, from at least from what I've heard about it, what I've read about it. So I definitely might give it a look. But I think it's interesting that people seem to assume that all this testing that's done, these fossil fuels, these nitrogen bombs, all these things that are tested, they don't just disappear. Like they don't just, like after we use them, it's not like they just disappear.
we have caves. We have caves and mountains full of barrels. Barrels of nuclear waste.
Yeah, just there.
Because there's nothing we could do to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's in barrels.
They don't just disappear. These things are put. We have landfills. Like they're deposited right back into the earth. Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
The radiation that the Earth was going under, because there's a lot of radiation in space. The sun gives off a lot of radiation, right?
Absolutely.
And there's other radiation coming in from freaking just
from different,
everywhere,
different galaxies and different
galaxies and shit. And so the Earth, was getting some radiation.
Yeah, sure.
But we have an ozone layer that kind of makes it still habitable for us. But you can still get your ass skin cancer. You go to the sun too much. You got in the beach and stuff like that. You never wear sunscreen, and people get that's basically a mutation of your cells due to the radiation. Exposure over time.
And I want to make this point, Black folks, put sunscreen on, please. And my brother knows why I'm saying this. He knows why I'm saying this. Put sunscreen on.
I still can't believe it. Some of these niggas out here really still feel that sunscreen is taboo for Black people. Oh, nigga,
that's crazy.
Like, how you still like the reason you don't do it because you didn't grow up doing it because our parents was up on it. But like, there's a lot of things that our parents wasn't up on that, bro. Like, we know better, we do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you talking about? You ain't gonna put on sunscreen. We're about to go on a whole ass hike.
Yeah, for real.
In Tennessee.
In Tennessee, yeah.
In the summer.
Nigga.
We're
gonna be out for at least 6 hours.
At least
in the sun. Come on, man. You gotta do better, y'all.
Oh, baby, I'm gonna shop for some best one.
It's like,
I got this hat. What do I need? I'm good, right?
Right, I'm good. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, so we changing it and we're not slowing down. Bro, when you talk about nihilism, you asking me about nihilism.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. The stuff we needed to have. I said this before. I'm gonna keep harping on this. Since the 50s, we needed all hands on deck. That means the whole planet, all hands on deck, doing the most conservative development and future proofing our society and future proofing our innovations to adopt really rapidly, like battery technology, freaking hydrogen, whatever other sources than we were using. Even when we talk about nuclear, right? Where if we could have used a lot of that, granted we still don't know what to do with the rest of it, the waste material, but we would have gotten better at figuring out use of shit. We could probably potentially have small little, if they had like a little core like this and they found a really way to protect that joint, this could have been in our car. We never had to buy fuel again. We didn't have to go buy freaking fossil fuels again. They put a little nuclear reactor in our car. I don't want to be walking around with nuclear material. You know what I mean? You got to do a lot more, production to it to make it a weapon, but you can still do damage. Like shit in New York, them girls just threw acid in each other's faces, bro. You imagine you throw this, you know what I mean? Even if you did a dirty bomb, like a freaking I don't know. Should I be saying shit like this? Can I say this? Am I gonna get flagged?
No.
I'm just saying you could do some work if everybody just had one of these joints in their fucking car. Right? But also it could be great for, you know what I mean? Like I said, this could power our vehicles this much. For the life of your car, this much would power that vehicle. Running all your freaking electronics and speakers and TVs that niggas put in their ride and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we'll get into that's actually one of the solutions that some folks are actually.
Okay, so I'm jumping ahead probably.
Yeah. And I was gonna say that we'll actually dive into that a little bit more with what you're alluding to. But is that so? So what's your conclusion on this matter as far as this epoch is concerned?
Well, I'm no scientist. But I know some people that live in places like Florida, that live in places like Texas, that live in places like Arizona.
Yeah.
Woo, and they ain't scientists either, but they go outside. And that shit ain't nothing nice.
Yo, when you see 3 digits on your phone or your watch, it's gonna make you think twice.
Oh damn it! I gotta go take this to the store again. My shit broke. It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be. We're not supposed to be living like this.
Yeah,
it's not supposed. It's not sustainable. Hundreds of thousands of people dying from preventable heat-related causes. That shit is hot, y'all. It's
hot.
even hotter. It's even hotter. So
hot.
what's happening? So global warming, as global warming intensifies, and deadly heat waves spread across the globe, it's becoming the new normal. The World Meteorological Organization is calling on governments to adopt heat action plans to protect hundreds of thousands of people dying from preventable heat-related causes each year. Last year?
Mm-hmm.
60,000 people in Europe died of heat-related causes.
That's and it's crazy because that probably didn't was this even like making the news like that about like
nigga, that shit don't make no just like car accidents don't be making the news like that.
Bro,
the car accidents that makes the news is when you have a pileup. That's it.
Yeah.
But they don't realize like how many individual car accidents they have a year. It's crazy. If we really cared about, man, we don't be caring about people like that though. We really don't care about people though. Yeah. Because like every car should be autonomous. Mm-hmm. Every car should be autonomous at this point. If not autonomous, because the reason I want every car to be autonomous because it takes away the control from these motherfuckers making bad decisions.
Oh, well,
drinking and driving on the road, trying to drive like a maniac just because they got a fast red new car and it's red. It's like, it's red, I gotta drive it fast, you know? And just doing all kinds of dumb shit, or just be on their phone while they driving. I can't. This is the wild thing to me. How niggas still got their ear to their phone in a car in 2023?
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Why is it?
That's crazy.
Even before I had a Bluetooth system in my old truck, I just put the bitch on speaker and put it on the dash and drive.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
I've never
the same thing.
I'm gonna be driving and have it to my nigga. What?
Yeah,
I still don't understand how niggas do, but like you don't have shit like that. It's all autonomous. You know what I mean? Autonomous vehicles. Anyways, what I was getting at,
as far as
at least what should happen is, in terms of car accidents, would be put the damn collision warning system in every car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put the lane, the keep lane thing. That should be standard. Just like seatbelts are standard, like you have to have. You cannot sell a car in America if it ain't got seatbelts in it. Unless it's some classic car that's go through special licensing and all that kind of stuff. It's not for road use. It's just for shows and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying. You can't drive a commercial car. You can't have a commercial vehicle, a regular consumer commercial vehicle. They don't have seatbelts in it.
But how can these car companies upsell you, man? If they
regulate it. If you can regulate seatbelts, you can freaking. Matter of fact, some places is click it or ticket. You get a ticket if you're not wearing your seatbelt.
Absolutely.
Remember that shit? So go ahead. They need to put in the freaking the collision system. There's like when you're driving in city limits and like the car will brake for you about to crash it. Bro, you save lives. You save freaking the insurance company from fucking have to pay this joint. You save people time and effort. You know what I mean? And like the police don't have to, and the ambulance have to come now for this freaking accident. You know, because it didn't happen. Now you cause traffic, people late. You know what I mean? Now I'm missing my flight. You know what I mean? Or somebody else is trying to get to the hospital actually because their wife's about to get burned. Like all kinds of freaking externalities that happen just because like we're not making something like that standard. But these numbers, they're huge every year. We don't think about it. People that die from the flu. We ain't talking about COVID.
Oh yeah.
We ain't talking about COVID. People that die from the flu every year.
And people still dying from
tens of thousands of people.
Every year. From COVID, from flu, from
And they die from this joint like that because
like people are low key like biting the dust for real, man. Like people are dying every day.
Random stuff.
Random stuff, like
preventable shit
every day.
Too.
Yeah. Every day, it's crazy.
Preventable stuff, like Darwin awards to all y'all motherfuckers, but not these people. These people are dying from heat causes. You know what I mean? But people that are doing like the non-vaccinated stuff and like driving crazy, not wearing seatbelts and stuff like that, like. Bro, having the phone
you're kind of putting yourself at risk. Yeah,
you're putting yourself at risk with some of these situations, right? You're gonna become a statistics. Over, I think I saw something that said over. So that was 60,000 was in Europe alone. And here, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies calls heat waves an invisible killer. According to IFRC World Disasters Report,
that's really what
climate and weather-related disasters have killed. Climate and weather-related disasters have killed 400,000 people worldwide in the past 10 years. 400,000 people. Just off of some like a flood. But the thing is, like, that flood, yes, the world did flood normally in its entire existence, but the floods wasn't like that before. They had damn, what was this? Was this somewhere in the Northeast? It might have been New York, somewhere in New York. New York State is big, you know what I mean? I'm not sure to see. Yeah. But they had something like a summer's amount of rain, like a whole summer season. They had it in 3 days. That's how much water was pouring from the fucking skies.
That's crazy.
Washing people's houses off the road, off the freaking off the side. I saw one video where people's this is flash flooding because it's 3 days.
That's what it is. Right? Yeah, it's flash flooding. Yeah,
and people like I don't know how they got caught in their cars.
Which, by the way, is folks, do not ignore those flash flood warnings. Flash flooding is so crazy. It is very scary. Like if you get caught, I was driving one time and I got caught in it. And like I was right by the crib, so I was able to pull into the crib like right when it got like crazy. But when I got upstairs to my crib and I had like a view because of where my unit is, I got like a view and bruh, it looked like
it looked like river.
Bro, it looked like World War Z out there, bitch. Like
it's crazy.
It came so fast and hard. You just see, bro. I was like
all kinds of people trash cans, people bicycles,
people
whatever.
running, people that were walking that got caught in running. Like it's the craziest thing you probably ever seen.
The video that I saw had people in their cars. Somehow they were driving somewhere, and the flash flood got their ass, and niggas is on the roof of their car.
Yeah,
trying to get on the roof of their car because the flood waters was washing cars down the road. Y'all, this one dude came down that bit pretty much surfing his car. Pretty much, he was on his car just trying to balance his car, and the water was like pushing his car all the way down to that road, and like other cars was flowing to and got stuck on trees and stuff like that, but there was no cars in his way because they got like pushed to the sides and stuff. And so,
he was really flying. He was just
and that river was going. I don't know what happened to that boy. You know what I mean? Shout out to that boy. I hope you safe. Hope you made it.
Hope he survived because that's.
But you can see, you just see all the people. There's like it's not like one person was trapped. It was like 6-7 people.
A lot of people.
Trying to climb on their roof of their cars and just flooding, and cars is just smashing against each other. Yeah. Just like randomly, like imagine boats on a dock at a dock, not moored, right? Yeah. They're just floating out there in the dock. They're just gonna be smashing each other with the waves and stuff. Yeah. This is what happened with the cars, bro. Shit like this was not in Miami. They have fish swimming in the streets regularly off of a regular rain. The place fucking floods like crazy, and fish just swim in the streets, and then the water recedes, and then you see dead fish in the morning in the streets. How did fish get here? You're like, oh snap, maybe this is the apocalypse. It's raining fish. No, nigga, that was just right from that water that's right there.
Yeah, the water just
that y'all building on the coast, and people want to build more and more and more on the coast. We need to stop incentivizing people. Well, you know what? I was trying to get into. I almost got into the solutions there, but I'm gonna let that slide for a little bit. And move on. But people out here are dying. There was a record that was set. Did I I don't know if I looked this one up. And is it Arizona?
I think Arizona. I think I know what you're talking about. There was Arizona. Arizona has a record
that was crazy. Was it 19 days in a row?
They had. Like I'm looking at record 19th straight day at Phoenix. 19th straight day.
Is that what it says? So what all is it saying about it?
So what it's saying is, and this is crazy. So this heat wave that's been going on recently, which you guys probably have noticed.
You might have noticed.
Yeah, it particularly has been happening on three different continents, where the US is, obviously North America, Europe, and Asia. In Phoenix, Arizona alone, Tuesday, but this article was dated July 19, 2023. So a couple of days ago. So you can even say what's today? Sunday. So last Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday marked a record 19th straight day that Phoenix endured temperatures of.
It could have had more days since then. We haven't.
Yeah, and it could have been more days. At least 9. So basically, we can infer there's been at least 19 days straight at 110 Fahrenheit. 110 or more. The city also set a 9-day record for the most consecutive days with lows at or above 90 Fahrenheit.
At night, lows. Your
low is 90. Yo. That's like, bro. That's like booking Eli.
I have a prediction. I have a prediction.
That's crazy.
I have a prediction.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. It may not be. It may be our lifetime. This prediction. It may be our lifetime.
Okay.
If we live to be 70, 80, or if it's if it's not, it's going to be in the kids' life, the generation after us. It's going to be in their lifetime. And this is my prediction. Damn, there was a movie like this. What movie was that? Damn, what movie was that? It was something like this, but I think it was on a different planet. But you know how you work 9 to 5?
Mm-hmm.
Our new life, when we live life, and then when we sleep and hibernate, and it's gonna flip.
I knew where you were going with it.
It's gonna flip. That's what 9 to 5 is gonna be. It's gonna be 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It ain't gonna be bad, like in terms of like, it's 5 a.m. Like I gotta work. No, it's gonna be like, no, this is gonna be normal. It's gonna be a new normal. You go to work at 9. So we're gonna sleep at so after you get off of work at 5 a.m. It's basically like people that work the graveyard shift. That's what they do. Yeah. The nurses have already been prepared for this. Maybe you go home and now go home, but maybe you run some errands. What do you do at 5 in the morning? You can't run no errands.
Yeah, you can't run
nothing open.
I mean, you can probably go outside and walk or something like that. But
maybe go outside and walk. Maybe go to the gym if you were 24-hour fitness, something like that. Yeah. And you really you go to bed because you want to get a good 5-6 hours of sleep, or 7 hours of sleep. So you're gonna go to bed at like 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, that should be normal. Particularly, that's the going to be the height of the sun anyway, somewhere between 12 and 3. You know what I mean? The height of the sun. Wow. Stay your ass inside. It's going to be like we have to stay, because it's going to get so bad, and our ozone is going to be so depleted that it's almost a guarantee that you're going to develop some sort of skin cancer. You know what I mean? Within the next 10 years, if you have overexposure to the sun.
Unless we become androids.
We could become androids, but then that little patch of skin, little patch of skin you still got, bro. You know what I mean? You get that bit infected. But who knows how the freaking radiation is gonna affect the freaking android parts also.
I mean, it's you can't ignore what's happening. I mean,
you can't ignore the heat, man. It's hot.
You can't ignore the heat. Like we're seeing these changes, and it's
hotter than it's ever been before.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, it's
since recorded history.
Yeah, even if you wanted to deny it, like you can't. The stats just don't lie. Like first of all, you feel it. You feel it when you go outside, but like the numbers are showing that. So I mean, so that prediction you're making, it's a logical conclusion to come to.
It's gonna get to the spot where we can't go outside during the day, man. We just can't go outside during the day. We gotta stay in the shadow.
Like you remember when I told you about my colleague? I'm not sure if you remember. But remember I told you about my colleague that was like, he lives in Texas, and he was telling me about what's crazy that we even talking about this. He was telling me about this same thing that's been happening, and he was like, it was so hot he had to take a trip to Colorado, and like now he's been up there for like 8 weeks. Because Colorado is more manageable now. You know what I'm saying? It's like 84, so it's like, okay, we can deal with that. But in Texas, it was 110 degrees every day. So he was like, nah. He was like, me and the wife, we packed up and went to Colorado.
Texas already got a weird ass grid system that they're relying on. So yeah, everybody's overusing the electrical system, right? All the electrical system, not gonna be pumping their AC and stuff. Some places don't have AC. There's some houses like in the South that still don't have AC. It's not like it hasn't been legislated that they have to have AC, and they're still like renovating some places. That's why you'll see a lot of places that have like window units, because somebody will install it after the fact, kind of thing. There was never a requirement for the builder to build a centralized air conditioning system, but as much as we use that, we need to we're pulling on the power grid. What is power in the power grid? We're either using more water to do that, or we're using more fossil fuels to do that. So we're just fucking reinforcing the negative shit that we're doing to the planet because we're trying to survive on this soon to be uninhabitable fucking planet. I don't even know if I think I put an extra B on that bit, but that's habitable, boy. That shit is becoming inhospitable to human life. And the earth is shaking us off. I've been saying this. I said this for a while, and a lot of times I harp on saying things like like fossil fuels, but there's just so much other shit that we do when it comes to like factory farming Even boating, just the consumerism. Yeah, that's the fossil fuel. But like we're talking about the shipments that go from port to port around the
import and
world.
exporting. Yeah,
Import and export. Like these ships, these cargo ships are huge and massive. The coal that we're burning on some of these things to get them
the
to
oil
get
that's
from point A to point B. Some will be spilling. You know, and we're inevitably left our footprint on this planet in some of the worst ways. And what I had said was, you know, all the things that we needed to do and we need to put in place, it's something that we should have done, you know, since the 50s. We could have started doing it, but even then we would needed to have worldwide collaboration on that. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah. I just wanted to, and that's a good point, because that's what you would need at the end of the day. And I did want to just mention this one thing as we move on from here, because we're gonna obviously get into like what all this means if it continues this way, right? So this is kind of like a crazy projection. According to figures provided to Axios from ICF, which is working on the next U.S. national climate assessment with federal agencies, the latest generation of computer models show that Phoenix, Arizona, is projected to go from an average 12 days per year with temperatures at or above 110 Fahrenheit to 40 days by 2050. 2050 is 17 years from now. 40, bro. Can you imagine?
They already did the 19. They already got 19.
Yeah, they already got.
So they already beat the 14.
Yeah. So it might even happen prior to 2050. Can you imagine a whole month and almost a month and a half? Bro,
he's just buried. What's the point? Bro, I ain't going. Dog, they call that bit Death Valley. They big call that bit Death Valley.
Yeah.
You think that was Death Valley before?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know why even people live there in the first place. But like,
bro,
this is definitely gonna help.
And they doing all the freaking they fucking it up that living there. They should never live there. That and Vegas should never have people live, because all the water
is a whole desert.
It's a whole desert. They're building out there, and like you have to source the water. I think from the Colorado River. I'm not 100% sure, but like you have a bunch of different places that are like calling water from that
same area.
The same area, and now and the Colorado River is like. Is predicted to also freaking run out of water.
Dry up,
eventually. You know what I mean? I don't know how fast or how soon it's going to happen, but like places like those shouldn't. Y'all ain't had water for a reason. They got rerouting the water that was supplying. And guess what's also happening with the damn Colorado River is that the freaking tribal communities that legally own some of their water has been rerouted. They've been fighting. And they're slowly but surely getting some of their water rights back. You already we have a treaty with these tribal nations, and we still was able to steal the water. And now they got to fight to get the water back. Bro, America, boy. You are special,
bro. That's how America. That's how. This is what I be trying to tell you. That's how America gets down, man. That's what they do.
That's how we get busy. Like, this was yours. This was yours. We'll give it back to you. We'll just keep it at our house. We'll just keep it at our house. We'll just route the water. We'll give you back some. So they're just still trying to scale that back. That's again a whole nother chapter we could get into. An effect, one clear effect that's happening. Okay, so we talked about the research they did in Canada, right? Yeah, we got another epoch. So when people are asking you, say, you know, climate change is real because this one point that they nail it down is like, you know, the truth is scientists are coming at this from a bunch of different angles, my guy.
Absolutely. They are.
And
they're doing
this scientist that has nothing to do with that scientist, this ecologist, and then there's your geologist, and then your freaking anthropologist, even your archaeologists, you know, are doing their research, and they come to the conclusion. And this one doing their thing like, hey, conclusion. And then that one, and then they come together and be like, so what did you conclude? What? Me too. And the other one's like, you too? Me too. By doing their own different kinds of research, atmospheric research, and they come to the same freaking like, oh shit, this. Oh, so that's why the fossil thing that I dug up, right? had these kind of things in it because of what you researched over there. And he's like, yeah, and I was looking to what would be a good place to identify these materials. And it's because the geologists, you know what I mean? Whatever, you know, so and the chemist gets involved. So they're coming at this from multiple angles, and they have way too much evidence to be like, yo, this shit is not normal. Right. Yeah. We know what normal is because we've researched it, we studied it, we know historically a lot of the fossilized record and all these things that we can do now with the technology that we have now to see what it was like back then. Another piece of evidence.
And I definitely want to, before you get to that, I definitely want to also point out that what Darwin said right there, I guess, I hope you guys didn't miss that. He said that what we're seeing is not normal. And that, what you have to understand is even him by saying that it's not normal, these scientists are also coming to the conclusion that this is not normal and this is not good, right? Because in nature you have things that just happen abnormally and it's just a part of nature, but this is not good. That's a whole different ballgame.
We are doing it. It's not like the random nature of the world, of the earth, and how it goes through its stages.
Yeah,
we are doing it. Yeah, it's all of us collectively. Yeah, everything about it, and so what we're also contributing to with all of our changes to the globe and in the new Anthropocene, we have also entered the sixth mass extinction event. Right, there's an extinction event happening right now. Open your door right outside. Currently, this is a history reading.
Not to scare you guys, but there's a lot of data that's kind of pointing to what's been happening and what has happened in the past.
Not connecting the dots. I don't know what to
tell you. It's a lot of data.
A mass extinction is a short period of geological time in which a high percentage of biodiversity or distinct species, we're talking bacteria, fungi, plants, mammals, birds, reptiles, fish, invertebrates. So this is like we're going from the water to the skies, and they all die out, right? In this period of time. So in this definition, it's important to note that in geological time, a short period can span thousands or even millions of years, right? We're talking about Earth years, right? So that's what it means when it's a short period of time. You might not see it in your lifetime, but the Earth is going to be around for a long time, right? The planet has experienced 5 previous mass extinction events. The last one occurred about 65.5 million years ago, and this is where we theorize wiped out the dinosaurs. Experts now believe we're in the midst of a 6th mass extinction. So what's causing it?
Man.
What's causing it? Yeah.
Man.
Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won. Unlike previous extinction events caused by natural phenomena, the 6th mass extinction driven by human activity, primarily, not limited to, but primarily because of unsustainable use of land, water, and energy use, and of course, climate change, right? Currently, 40% of all land has been converted for food production. This is one thing that doesn't get said enough. That does
there is a food crisis going on, especially with what's going on in Ukraine. It's been causing a ripple effect in the world market.
We can still have enough food to feed the world that we produce here in the United States.
That's true.
So much food waste.
That's true. There's a lot of excess. There's a lot of excess in the United States for sure.
Granted, we're not the world food supplier. There's other places that supply food too.
Absolutely.
Like the Ukraine, which is called the breadbasket of the world, because a lot of grains and stuff that they provide over there. Now there's even more beef that Russia's giving them. This is what I be talking about, man. Like, man, y'all niggas gotta like be up on some, like, people. Yeah, I get it, man. People are busy, you know, and some of this stuff don't. It's not your bag, you know what I mean?
It's because, but it's not even that. It's not even so much that. It's more so that it just ain't hit close enough to home, man.
It ain't hit close to home just yet.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Bro, that's why with this thing that's if we bring it up, you're like, we probably, if you're not hip on, you're not big into news and all that kind of stuff, and we talk about Russia, we talk about Ukraine, we brought this up, we've dissected some of these topics. We talked about freaking Prigozhin last time we recorded, you know, and we're getting into the minutia of that thing. It's all tied together. We're not talking about the 6th mass extinction, and we're talking about food production and climate change and all that stuff. Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world. This not Russia. This war, right, is now gonna cause starvation somewhere else in the world. because of that war that's happened, and starvation is something that you might care about because that could be your home country.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you care about people that look like you, for example, that could be them. That's not gonna get those resources, not gonna get those food surpluses.
Mm-hmm.
It all ties in together, so you have to kind of care about a freaking war.
So it's a very good point. That's a very good point.
On the other edge of the world,
it's a very good point.
Because it ties into, because with the climate change also, those resources are going to become more scarce. Food production is going to become more unreliable.
Absolutely.
And so we don't need that on top of the war bullshit. So this is why it's important to kind of like realize how all these things have some connection. But 40%. So one thing we don't mention enough is the fact that 40% of the land is dedicated to food production.
Yeah,
that's when you do that, you know what you're also doing is deforestation.
Yeah.
And you know what you're also doing when you're doing the deforestation, you're removing a natural way of the earth cleansing CO2 because you're cutting down all the goddamn trees. Yeah. We don't want CO2, people. This is what's getting the freaking oceans extra hot.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Could you imagine with these? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What does a hurricane need to thrive? It needs warm waters.
It needs, I was going to say it needs heat, and it needs.
We have world record breaking temperatures now at surface level. You don't think the waters are warmer than usual?
Yeah, that's true.
You might have had one Cat 3, one Cat 4 a season, maybe a couple.
And what's crazy, recently the kind of hurricanes that we've been having have been like, they've all been like 5s. Like most of them has been like out the
and
gate.
And the water is warmer and warmer.
Like, start off at 5s. Like the hurricane that hit Houston. I can't remember the name. The hurricane that hit Houston start off as a 5. And so we're like, how did they gain so much steam so quickly? But what you're saying makes sense.
So here's the thing. So I don't know if you ever heard of El Niña and El Nino, right? So these are
I remember those.
These are normal, regular stages that the Earth goes through. You know, and what happens in El Nino is that the waters tend to be warmer, right?
Yes.
And during El Niña, the waters are cooler. So, granted, the waters will be warmer right now, anyways, because this is the El Nino year, right? But we're also having record-breaking heat.
Yeah.
During an El Nino year.
So it's El Nino on steroids,
bruh.
It's El Nino on steroids, yeah.
It's boiling.
That's not good. Yeah.
And so good. the hurricanes love the warm water. That's where it picks up its energy.
Yeah, that's what picks up. Yep.
And so that's just gonna slam into the East Coast. It's gonna slam into freaking, if it does that little freaking boomerang joint and hit up like Katrina did or Galveston.
Or like Andrew did.
Or Andrew did to Florida. Like it's gonna happen. Like niggas, y'all need to... Okay, I keep going back to damn solutions because I tell you, it's over. It's over. You can't do nothing no more. You don't if you can't, no matter what plans you have in place, if you do not have global cooperation on it and like all hands on deck right now, it's gonna do nothing. But guess what? You should have did that. Even if you did do that, you should have did that shit freaking 50, 60 years ago. And you didn't do it. You can't do it now. It's too late. You can do whatever you want to try to make it a lot less, maybe. But your main thing at this point is mitigation. But we're going to talk about that.
I'm a bit more optimistic than my brother is. I think there's still some things we can do, but he is right. It's going to require a global front, like because this. Even I can't ignore the data. I mean, I'm a data guy too, so I can't ignore the data. Like it's obviously there. Like these are signs and patterns that have existed for thousands and thousands of years that we know when it comes to the earth and how it behaves. And it's going to react to what kind of changes, artificial changes that we make into it as human consumption and human use and all that stuff. So
agriculture is responsible for 90% of global deforestation. Agriculture.
Of course. Of course.
90% of global deforestation and accounts for 70% of the planet's fresh water use. 70%. Oh my God. There's places like South Africa that have like fresh water shortages. And we're freaking...
But there's also
my plans too.
Yeah, but there's also, I think some of these countries, there's also like for example, I think the US has, don't quote me here, but I think the US has like, don't they have like oil preserves in Alaska or something like that? I think I heard reserves.
That we have oil reserves. Like what do you mean by that?
No, because I'm thinking like there's gonna be like area. Okay, I'm mentioning that to say that there are going to be areas that, because of, for example, like you mentioned, like 90% of global force.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is happening.
there's going to be areas that are
God.
actually uninhabited.
So what's happening now?
We're going to be reaching out to these areas to try to.
We've been doing this. We've been fighting. We've been in a
Antarctica.
race,
You know what I'm saying?
with
like,
Russia. We've been in a particular race with Russia. I'm not sure if China's in on this race specifically yet, because you know how Sarah Palin was like, "Oh, I can see Russia from my house." Like she legit could, like, because it's like there's a certain part of Alaska where it's like right there. It was the most outskirts of Russia, and the most outskirts of Alaska are like looking over, the Brooklyn Bridge or something like that, right? It's kind of like this. So, but even further north, right, the North Pole, because of we're so fucking stupid. Because of climate change and the glaciers melting and all the ice that is melting,
it's raising the sea level.
It's now, it's raising the sea level. So that's what all the flooding doing in places like Spain, Netherlands, and Florida.
They've even reported in Antarctica as well. It's been happening.
Marshall Islands is going to be gone, and because the ice is melting there, previously unreachable oil reserves that's under the earth that we wouldn't be able to drill before is drill, baby, drill now.
Yeah,
because all that shit's melted and gone.
Yeah.
And so niggas is thirsty for their oil, so they're gonna go, and they've been in a race too. I don't know if there's any contention. I haven't read up on it in a while, but they're starting to drill some of these places that were never even able to be drilled. So like, you thought we was getting off of this fossil fuel joint?
Oh, absolutely not.
We about to tap into a whole. And by the way, when we're drilling even further and further into stuff that's been buried for thousands. Years, millennia.
I see what you're getting at.
You might be finding some shit. Some shit might be exposed to the sunlight now and exposed to the atmosphere. All right, that'd be like, oh, I hadn't rocked out as a disease or as a vector for freaking 10,000 years, but I'm free now, baby. They made movies about shit like this where you're like freaking, where you're bringing this freaking Dormammu or some shit, or some of these like Egyptian. Oh no, that was who it was. Was it X-Men movie where they was it Sinister? Who they brought back to like you talking
about they brought back what are you talking about when they brought back Apocalypse?
Apocalypse. They brought back Apocalypse. Let's go to sleep and y'all gonna unearth this dude. What you doing? The nigga name is Apocalypse. Right. So that's what we finna do. And so, these diseases is gonna be brand new. It's gonna be some novel shit that we never freaking had able to study before. We didn't know how to solve it. I mean, we thought COVID was bad.
We've been doing more exploration of like the ocean and the ocean seafloor as well. So like that people are exploring, man. And they, and if they tap into something, obviously they're gonna try to mud it out. So you're right, man. Like it's leading to countries that are racing against each other to go to like previously to places that we couldn't reach
the planet even further. The climate crisis is causing everything from severe droughts to more frequent and intense storms. From droughts to storms, it's everything. And when we're talking about storms, we ain't just talking about we ain't talking about summer hurricanes. We're talking about winter storms too.
Yeah, like legit winter storms. Yeah,
we're talking about winter storms too. It also exacerbates the challenges associated with food production that stress species while creating conditions that make their habitats inhospitable. Increased droughts and floods have made it more difficult to maintain crops and produce sufficient food in some regions. The intertwined relationships among the food systems, climate change, and biodiversity loss are placing immense pressure on the planet. So we're in this other mass extinction that's happening. We're the primary cause of that joint. They have some solutions here. One would be the Paris Agreement, which is, Trump pulled out of that shit, and I don't even know. That was, and even that agreement though was still like short. They was like, let's do the minimum. Can we, people? Let's do the bare minimum. And niggas couldn't pull it off.
But at least it was something on the table, though. You know what I'm saying? At
least something on the table, right? And so the agreement was going to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. It's like, we're gonna warm up. It's good. So let's just try to keep within 1.5. They do all kinds of stuff to limit it to 1.5. And we know the human activity that we did that accelerates this stuff, and we want it to slow down. There's this 30-30 plan also where leaders can support America the Beautiful initiative to conserve 30% of U.S. lands
I remember Bitin
and waters by 2030. So there's that plan. We're stretching further out, like we're saying. People shouldn't even fucking live in Las Vegas. People shouldn't even fucking live in Death Valley, right? But people do. But we can conserve these lands and just like leave it be, let it stay wild, let it stay nature. Maybe we saw some of this stuff happening too when we saw nature come back in during COVID years when everybody got back inside. They showed satellite footage of the earth of what it kind of looked like in some spots where you could kind of see the pollution and the red.
Yeah, that was.
And then you saw another picture after like 6 months.
That was.
We sat our asses down for 6 months. And you can see clearly fucking dolphins came back in the canals. They were swimming and shit. Yeah. That hadn't been seen in freaking ages.
I ain't gonna lie. That's actually, honestly, that's actually what made me like I've always.
Bro, we ain't never gonna do that shit voluntarily. Come on now.
Well, no, of course not. But like COVID years had made it so much more clear to me, like just how much we were like really straining the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's us.
We really doing the most for real.
We sat our asses down for like 6 months, and we was like, oh shit, the earth is like healing itself. You know what I mean? It's like, and here's the thing: it's like I'm like the earth is trying to shake us off. The earth is trying to. I keep saying this. I'm gonna get there in a second. So a couple of things. So Cunning Montreal Agreement. This is another agreement. The U.S. leaders can play a critical role alongside 195 other countries. They're trying to conserve at least 30% of lands, inland waters, and oceans worldwide. There's also grassroots action. While the federal government can set high standards, like you said, like I said with the seatbelt thing, the government can set that standard, right? Policies to conserve nature, they can set these things, and businesses, communities, and individuals have the power to a powerful role to play in shifting corporate behavior. So it says here again, while the government can set these high policies, it's up to businesses, communities, and individuals.
Yeah, you got to make the decision.
I don't know about that part.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure, I would love to be, to be as much of a earth conservationist as I can. But what's been happening is, and this is why I can't get on this train, because these motherfuckers have been on the train of trying to get individuals to do stuff, and these corporations don't have to do shit. These corporations don't have to change their fucking practices. Why are there golf courses? There's nothing but green grass. You know what they do to maintain these golf courses? These pristine ass courses. As far as I can see, all you do is pay. Bro, I'm trying to water a couple hydrangeas. Yeah, they gotta shoot the Masters next month. The Masters, you see them? They ain't a single blade out of place.
Yeah, them greens are.
And all we're doing is just watering these fucking grass. And there's golf courses all over the goddamn place. Florida.
Oh alone. Yeah.
Right, we talk about these resort islands that building golf courses out there. It all goes to watering those lawns. It's just lawn, and just for the game of fucking golf, it ain't producing no food. It ain't preserving no biodiversity.
It's producing entertainment, man.
That's what it is. And it's fresh water too. Good clean water too. It ain't like they pouring salt water all over that bit. Right? It ain't like that salt in the earth.
That's true.
It ain't salt all over that bit. But they be trying to put that shit on individuals, man, and the freaking corporations don't be doing shit, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I ain't gonna lie.
Trying to get me to buy the goddamn canvas bag. You know what I mean? When you got all the plastic bags you ordering for a goddamn store, why you ordering those plastic bags then?
Yeah, that's true.
You got pallets and pallets of plastic bags in there, but you want me to bring in my reusable joint.
And he charged me for it anyways.
Yeah. Bro, so they put it all on almond production. And now we're drinking almond milk now. So they gotta produce more almonds.
Oh yeah, they gotta yep. Almond production is
almonds take a lot of water.
They do.
You don't see these companies freaking making sure they have the most efficient watering system to farm to raise these almonds and whatever else they fucking doing with these. No, these corporations ain't doing nothing. I went to Vegas, man. You know the damn fountains all over the place that they got in this joint.
Oh, bro. I ain't gonna lie. When we went to Vegas, when we went to Vegas, and I was looking around, and I was just like, this is such a waste of money,
with
bro.
the added humidity, the added heat that's over there. You spraying the water into the air. That's easily getting that joint to evaporate, right?
And just the light pollution from Vegas. Just how the cities is built, and like just it's
even
bro,
that. Now they got this big ass basketball joint, that big ass
that big light. Yeah. They're like, you know what?
Building.
I see your light pollution, and I raise
to our own opulence. Like, this is crazy. What is the matter with us? You know how much energy it takes to power that goddamn thing?
Yeah, man. Yeah. That takes a lot of energy, bro. I see your light pollution, and I raise you a globe,
a light up globe on the earth. A moon on the earth.
If you didn't know what opulence was, bro, just go to Vegas.
No, I'm gonna put up the picture. When we edit this thing, make sure we put up the picture.
It's so crazy, bro. It's so obnoxious that it's like, really, bro? Like
we deserve every last bit of what's about to happen to us.
It's so obnoxious. I ain't gonna lie. It's so obnoxious, bro.
So what I'm saying, I said before, and we can get into it now, is the earth is trying to shake us off. Mm-hmm. COVID ain't the start. It's been trying to happen. There's been a world record breaking earthquakes, volcanoes is erupting, flooding and whatnot. All kinds freaking. I think what was it? Something that came at malaria. They got malaria in the United States now.
Yeah, I heard, bro. I think I heard about it, bro. I was like, what? Yo,
they got malaria.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I literally heard about this. Like, I literally heard about that 2 days ago. I was like, wait, excuse me. I was talking to somebody. I was like, wait. Can you repeat what you just said? They're like, yeah,
plague, nigga, the plague about to come back, bro.
Yo, I was literally taken aback. I was like, wait, what do you say we have? It's like, yeah, there's been some cases of malaria in the U.S. I was like,
and
I was like, nah, bro, no way.
The difference is,
ain't no way.
This isn't somebody who just went to sub-Saharan Africa somewhere, you know what I mean, got bit and brought it over here, and brought malaria. No, this was like homegrown shit, and then transmitted to another person. That's when you know it's shit's popping. If it's one person, one case, well, in their household, that's it. But this junk is like spreading malaria in the United States,
bro. That
the planet is trying to shake us off, dog.
I don't even want to go outside anymore. I don't want to go outside.
Like, when it comes to the heat,
crazy.
We're talking about tornadoes in weird places. We're talking about hailstorms in weird places. We're talking about the flooding, right? The radiation alone and the freaking cancerous shit, all that. The planet's trying to shake us off. And you know who else is in cahoots with that? The whales. The whales, they know.
The Orcas, man.
We done enough damage. They're like, they had enough of our shit. The earth is trying to shake us off, and it's all nature is in collusion, is colluding to get us the fuck out of here. To get us up out of here. You gotta, unless you've been on the rock, you have to have heard about these orcas.
Yeah,
that's been taking out yachts. They've been taking out yachts.
Yeah.
So this particular article was written back in May, but and I think slow down some, but I think I still hear some cases about this going on. The internet was abuzz after Live Science published an article reporting that killer whales, orcas, around the Iberian Peninsula had started sinking boats and appeared to be teaching others to do the same.
Absolutely.
So theory is that the this one particular matriarch got struck by a boat, right? Swimming along, also oh shit, my shoulder. Wait till I go get my son, go get that gun out the car. Right? So that whale was like, nah, I can't, I'm gonna get my lick back.
It's beef.
That whale was like, I'm gonna get my lick back.
Yeah, he's like,
and so it could be that, I mean, they're very smart creatures. Killer whales are very smart. They got this moniker killer whale. I mean, and we freaking captivated, put these things in captivity. I remember in South Florida we had Lolita. SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Lolita that was there.
What? I think that was the name. It sounds like that. That sounds like
I think it was Lolita. We remember that movie, Free Willy.
Free Willy, yeah.
Free Willy was in that joint.
Yeah.
I think Michael Jackson had a song in that joint. It was kind of dope. But they're very smart creatures. We put them at captivity because and you saw that they taught them how to do tricks and all that kind of stuff, how to communicate really, right? But they're trainable and all that kind of stuff. And but they were already smart from rip. This is why they're able to teach him tricks and shit like that. You don't see them. Ain't nobody out there trying to teach sharks how to freaking jump through hoops, dog.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody trying to teach them. You know what I mean? Nah, dog. So there's a theory that the whale retaliated at the boat, and other whales saw this behavior, and because they're a social kind of species, some of them started like mimicking it because of the particular behavior that this whale was doing, so they did it too. So maybe that's not necessarily her teaching them, but I think some other reports said that they
actually communicated.
Yeah, and these whales she went and got some. She went and got a crew and came back.
She said, "I'm gonna spin the block." She said, "I'm gonna spin the block,"
and got rid of some of these. So and attacked some of these boats, right? Sunk some boats, right? So there's reports of that as well. Who knows the full story of it? You know, let them tell it. But if they could talk, but but we have been all up in their waterways. We have been freaking shipping back and forth, and these pleasure yachts, they're freaking huge. They're not they're personal vehicles. They might not be stuck with the same regulations or freaking routes that commercial tankers and stuff are used to just traveling, because you're in your yacht, you can just go left to right, wherever, up and down, wherever the fuck you want, north, south, whatever the fuck you want to do. And so you don't have a freaking what do you call these people, a freaking oceanographer on staff that you know what I mean, that's freaking
to know exactly where you are, and
and looking out for whales and shit like that. You have a captain, you know what I mean, that could freaking, hey, I can drive this bitch and I can park that bitch sideways if I got to, but like I ain't looking out for no whales and shit like that. You know what I mean? Not to mention the freaking whaling that still goes on till today. Niggas is hunting whales.
People are still doing that.
Still doing that.
That's crazy. I didn't know people were still doing that.
I mean, it's part of some people's culture, you know, historically, and
like
I don't know if it's all. I don't know if it's harpoon. I guess harpoon fishing.
Harpooning, harpoon fishing.
But I don't know if it's all on the up and up where it's, you know, they actually use the whole thing. You know what I mean? Whether it's for food or for because you could use the blubber for heating.
Yeah, I was gonna say they use the blubber for fuel and heating and all that stuff.
For fuel and heating, and maybe you could use the skin for, I don't know, maybe you can make some kind of leather type of, you know, clothes out of it or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know if it's that altruistic. But I think it's just apparently there's been a lot of over hunting of whales, so maybe that's also just them trying some fucking, you know, homeopathic remedy or some shit with some of this whale stuff, you know? They just want the fins, and then they freaking throw the rest of the whale away or something like that. But these whales are picking up on game. They're like, yo, these humans is out to get us. These humans out to get us. They hurting us. They don't give a fuck that we here. They polluting the shit out of our waters. This is the freaking trash island. Yeah. The trash island that's floating around in the Pacific. It's an island
of trash.
Of just trash. It's not on a land full of trash. It's in the island itself is just trash. It floats around and it's huge and around the Pacific. We could put up a picture of that too. People still haven't heard about that one. So we're not gonna make things better. The Earth is trying to shake us off. The whale's trying to get us up out of here. The octopus might be plotting on this. Like, y'all haven't heard from octopus yet.
You keep bringing up the octopus.
Y'all haven't heard from them yet. They're not bringing down ships just yet. But they silent but deadly. Those motherfuckers are silent but deadly. Octopus and they can camouflage. They probably walking up amongst us right now. You heard the secret invasion? See the invasion, they can camouflage like a motherfucker.
The octopus are low-key Cree, man. They
may be Cree among us, so y'all, and they ain't execute yet. They waiting for all the low-level minions to do the orcas to do their blunt guerrilla attacks. You know what I mean? They wait for the earth to do its freaking. And they
just moving through the shadows.
Thing, you know yep. The octopus for the cover that bit. They finna log into your Wi-Fi. They actually and they be like, what the fuck? They're gonna log into your Wi-Fi. You thought you was on a VPN or some shit. You had your shit on lock. All right, they gonna come up with the real shit. If you get caught slipping, the plan's trying to take us. So what can we do? We could just at this point we could just try to mitigate this shit. We can't be given. I'm sorry, my G. You can't get homeowners insurance if you build on the coastline, like on the beach. No, we're not gonna give you no homeowners. Your house is gonna flood away and burn down. And guess what? Yep. You just move your ass somewhere else. The earth showed you ain't supposed to be building over there. When that hurricane comes and knocks your shit the fuck down.
That's true.
What does it say about the man who builds his house on sand? This is some biblical shit, nigga. They told you what they separated, right?
We told you that thousands of years ago. That
then you get insurance for it. And guess what? When you get that insurance for it, that means everybody in that goddamn state insurance goes up because your shit keeps fucking crumbling.
Absolutely.
Right? We have. Hey, I think Northern Virginia might be it. It might be the lit in terms of like that balance between the freaking severe, crazy ass freaking winter storms.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like I kind of feel the same way because you remember I was thinking about moving, but I'm like I might just stay put.
But this whole region, this whole mid-Atlantic region,
it might be like the happy.
Florida's gonna be under fucking water. Louisiana, forget about it. You know, Texas been getting them hurricanes like crazy too. Plus they get the crazy winters over there, and they're already on a bad grid. You know, and then not to mention the freaking desert part of freaking Texas and the rest of the New Mexico and all that stuff. It's gonna be inhabitable. It's either gonna be drought.
And the Midwest been getting like random tornadoes.
Random.
That's been going crazy.
They always been getting tornadoes, alligator, but like the tornadoes are stronger now.
They're strong. That's
and there are more freaking places now that might not have seen tornadoes are getting more. Florida's getting more tornadoes now. Georgia's getting more tornadoes now. So we're gonna sooner than later, the country is gonna start shrinking in terms of population. What do you call that? Like we were spread out as a population, and we're gonna have a more congested, confined space. Which also means that we're gonna have way more people on top of each other. Less people are gonna be living in the south. They're gonna be going up a little bit north. More people from the north are gonna start coming a little bit more south because it's gonna be too cold and hospitable.
I see what you're saying. Okay, and everybody.
That's why I'm like that. That's why I'm like
middle.
Yeah, converge. But like even then, the West Coast, you kind of like there's gonna be like the mid. It's gonna be the West Coast is gonna be fine, I think, but like the whole middle of America.
But California though, they gotta worry about that fault line though.
That fault line, they might end up
because some experts have said that it's a very real possibility that California can just break off.
Yeah, speaking of fault lines, we have places like Oklahoma that worry about fault lines too because we've been doing fracking. The fracking that we're doing, we're pumping water into the freaking earth. And that's gonna change up the fucking geology of the place. Like that whole middle America thing. Like y'all thought y'all was a flyover. Y'all was flyover states before.
For real,
Negro.
For real.
Y'all thought y'all was some flyover states before. It might end up being some shit like you can't even drive no more. It's gonna get to the point where you can't even drive no more across that. The only way to go from the rest of the country into to California would be to
like
fly
over.
To fly, you can't even drive because the roads may be too hot and inhospitable. You can't rely on the fuel station. People can't live to be able to maintain a gas station in some of these areas. And so if your shit ain't going 1,000 miles a gallon a tank, you know what I mean? Then
you won't make it.
You ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? Going that run, and you yourself can't get out your car. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be too fucking hot again. You know. Now, who knows how this is all theoretical. It's all a thought experiment, but we're not going to save the planet anymore. If we're still trying to live here, we're gonna have to change these things in the way we live. Like I said, 9 to 5 may be the new 9 to 5, may be freaking 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. We have to live in more condensed space. We we're gonna inevitably have to. Solar power is gonna be way too enticing. It's gonna be hot as shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of sun. So we're gonna have to adopt solar power way more rapidly.
But in addition to the solar power, though, what else would you say would be a solution to even slow down the way that we've been essentially putting a lot of pressure on the
remote work? Remote, we're gonna have to do a lot more remote. There's like a bunch of things we're gonna have to do. First of all, again, a lot of
EV as well. EV as well has been something that's been mentioned as well. Yeah, like as far as at least as far as that part of it, like transportation and all that.
Yep. I mean, we're trying to. We're making sense. There's some incentives, some government programs that give you, credit, tax credit if you if you go EV. Now, but all the things we got to do, all the things. Just and I'm talking about just for us to live, just like live a somewhat coherent, comfortable life the way we kind of know it on this planet. We have to adopt some of these measures. I mentioned remote work. Why remote work? Because that's less travel. There's less travel in the world, right? That's less as you're burning those fuels, right? But that's also less demand for fossil fuels, right? But that's even if we had EV vehicles, less traffic on the road, car maintenance and all that kind of stuff, repairs and all that kind of thing that you need to then, to keep the factories running for all those kind of things. We just don't need as much mileage on these cars if we all had remote work. For those who can, right? There's a lot of jobs you just got to be in person to do it. But also the places that we go to work, those buildings, right? These buildings are also like you maintain your home and the electricity at home, but you're also maintaining this big ass building and the electricity for that building and empowering that building and running water to that building. Yeah. Right. Whereas like some places gonna have droughts, but like you gotta sustain the building that people gotta come to every day to work, right? Versus if more remote work you have, the less building occupancy you need because you're already trying to sustain things at the individual home level. We're gonna have to do a lot more with in terms of communication and ability to work and meet even with your doctors. For example, having like video visits instead of going to the doctor physically. Things like this is just gonna have to. We're gonna have to change our diets. Less red meat.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Less red meat because the factory farming that we're doing is causing a lot of all this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like they say 40% of the land is used for fucking agriculture and shit. Like and then we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut down more trees so we could build more pastures for goats and cows and shit. Like if we don't, we're gonna realize that we are the virus. It's gonna be too late because the Earth is gonna have its immune system because the Earth has been around. It will be another epoch. That last epoch ain't gonna be no humans around to name it, but the Earth gonna know because it got us the fuck up out of here.
That's the evidence is hard to ignore, but these are we're not trying to scare you, but we're trying to at least raise an alarm that hey, these changes have to be made. So these are not just anecdotal evidences that we're talking about. This is actual statistics that we are sharing with you guys. So obviously do your own homework and do your own research on it, but it's happening.
Oh, and by the way, for those of you who think that you can kiki at these people on a yacht for whales giving them their comeuppance, these bears and these mountain lions are in your fucking neighborhood. These coyotes are in your neighborhood.
And they have become more aggressive too.
They become more aggressive. They become more and more because
more agitated.
We have encroached. This is what the story with the orca is. We've encroached on their space.
Yeah, sure.
And we've encroached on the spaces of these wildlife animals. This damn tortoise. We used to probably roam this area. His ancestors roamed this area.
He just gave you just a reminder. He gave you just a reminder.
Like, boom, that's a kind reminder. Yeah, because it could be a bear next. It could be a coyote. Next, it could be a mountain lion next. It could be snakes. It could be spiders.
Bro, the ecosystem in the backyard is crazy.
Yo,
That's crazy.
And he gonna see you before you see him.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And by the time you see him, it might be too late for you.
Might be too late. It might be, yeah.
So
you better hope you inside your crib, because that's crazy. That's man.
And they get and because we've encroached on them, and they become more used to us, they lose that natural fear of staying away from humans. And if they hungry and you got what they need, shit, they're gonna come through you. They're gonna go right through you. So that's the doom and gloom. And
clearly,
welcome to Darwin Darko. You know, that down in the dumps, Darwin. But I just feel like I'm a realist. People call me a pessimist. I'm a realist just because like I'm not optimist doesn't make me a pessimist. You know, I'm a realist. This is how it is right now. If you want, the evidence is there. It's in our faces. It's glaring. Record-breaking heat in Arizona, like 19 days in a row.
Yeah.
But you want me to lie about that?
That's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. That's just what it is. Yeah, that's what's been happening. So, I know you've been vibing on something this weekend, bro. What you got for us today?
First of all, honorable mention. I'd like to shout out Sejo, Haitian comedian.
I've been seeing him. He kind of lit. He kind of lit. I ain't gonna lie.
This nigga's lit. I came across him and like I'm late to the game. I ain't go. You know what I mean? I'm be honest.
I've been seeing him for a bit. Yeah.
I've started following him maybe last year sometime on Instagram, right? But apparently this dude has already a whole universe that he had created. Yeah. You know, and he's been working at this for a while. So shout out to him. But Sejo has a comedy special on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's called Nous Jacques Problem.
That's fire.
That means we got a lot of problems. Yeah, right? Yeah. We got a lot of problems. And I'm just putting the plug in there to watch it. If you right, it's a smart stuff. Let me jump to the end real quick and say this. One of the things I wanted to really gauge as I was watching it is people laughing just because he's Haitian and the novelty of like it's a Haitian audience.
I'll be honest.
And a Haitian comedian.
I'll be honest.
So
I thought about that.
They laughing because they just like giving them like charity laughs. You know what I mean, like that. But no, the nigga's good.
He's actually funny.
The nigga's good. He's funny. He's smart. Yeah. Right. The dude is so smart. He there was this one joke.
And it's a lot of observational comedy. That's what makes it really, really good.
Yeah, observing on how the behavior of Haitians in America, Haitians in Haiti, and just the whole vibes of being a millennial in this whole space of social media and all that as Haitian compared to our parents' generation and stuff. But he has this one joke. This nigga starts a joke in French. In the middle part of the joke goes to Creole and ends it in English. This is the one whole joke, and it makes sense. And you have to know all three languages for the whole joke
to really
make sense.
That's impressive.
Like,
that's impressive.
I know a little bit of French, so I got the French part, and then I got the Creole part, of course. And I was like, "Dude, this nigga's good. This nigga's good." He did one joke that was a Creole, a Creole Spanish joke, right? It's like the punchline happened in Spanish. It was, and he wasn't even talking about the language part at that point, because he does mention the whole language thing. Like, the one thing to do says, man, be like, stop it with this whole French shit in Haiti. Stop it. Don't nobody fucking speak French over there, right? There's like 1% of the population speak French. But all these Haitians that try to be all extra bougie and stuff, right? The ones that were bougie actually learned French in school because but that's like 1% of the population.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage.
Everybody else is speaking Creole, right?
The national language is Creole. Stop the cap.
Granted, well, the national language is officially French, but nobody's
of Haiti right now. It's officially Creole.
Did they change? I thought it was the official national language was French. I don't know.
Let's check it. I looked at this. a couple of weeks ago, just on a random kind of Google search.
Really?
Yeah, and it said Creole.
It's the official language. No, why my birth certificate in French though, bro? What you talking about?
No,
what are you talking about? The language emerged from contact between French settlers and enslaved Africans. Okay, you're still part of the diaspora during the Atlantic slave trade. The Atlantic slave trade mattered there too. Okay, don't get that twisted. So American black folks, right? Don't be acting like y'all different than the Caribbean black, especially Caribbean black folks. Sometimes be acting like they a little bit more I don't know, more down to the roots than African Americans.
Absolutely not. Actually, the slave trade was even worse in the Caribbean. Like the actual practices, and I can even point you guys to a book that actually verifies that. It's called The Black Jacobins. But it was actually
1619 Project.
1619 Project. Yeah, it was even worse in the Caribbean. As a matter of fact, Jamaica was a prison. Actually, Jamaica was it was worse in Jamaica as well. But Jamaica and Haiti, So go ahead.
Although its vocabulary largely derives from 18th century French, its grammar is that of a West African Volta Congo language branch, particularly the Fongbe and Igbo languages.
And this is why, like with our facial features, a lot of Haitians look like Congolese people. Some of us kind of look a little Senegalese, but like most of us look like we have similar face features to the Congolese people because a lot of us came from Congo. So
all the same ancestors. So
all the same ancestors, y'all know all of it. Yeah.
There was a lot of man. I love the how what Sergio is doing, man. Like and he talks about a lot of the history and stuff about how it is growing up being Haitian in America.
Especially like in the 90s, how it was in the 90s.
In the 90s, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of self-hate, man, and a lot of self-hate. No, I don't just mean like in between Haitian and Haitian, and I'm talking about like black people, man. Like,
black people,
like we all the same, really. And niggas didn't really go to appreciate all of that back in the 90s, and calling the Haitians that they know boat people, you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
It's that American entitlement, man. That's it. Yeah. It comes from that. All of it.
Not realizing that, like, what makes you ashamed of being black? You black, bro. You black in America. Like, who are you? This is kind of what we were talking about last time with the poor whites shitting on niggas. You know what I mean? Not realizing that they poor too. You know, these niggas, these black people, these African Americans that was like shitting on Haitians, like. Nigga, you still black in America. You think you better than me? This is America. You black in America. We're supposed to have solidarity from the jump, right? But there's been, all these bridges are being rebuilt over time. Millennials are doing it different. And Sergio talks about this kind of stuff, and he's a millennial himself. And it's funny stuff. Now, go support him, right? It's $4.99 for this comedy special. If you speak Creole, you'll be fine. You speak Creole and English, you'll be fine. There's some French in there, but he actually rails against the French language like that, right? Because he's like, I'm Haitian, I'm speaking Haitian. I'm speaking Creole, you know what I mean? I'm speaking like a Haitian. Like, I don't know, this whole French thing is overrated. Although I still would like to learn French, but just because I want to just have the education of it, just the freaking knowledge of learning multiple languages. So that's just an honorable mention. It's funny. It's not charity jokes. When I just it's not charity laughs. It's smart.
He's actually funny.
Funny. He's actually funny. So I definitely recommend checking that out. That's a point. But in terms of the music side, man, he did it again. It's not me.
You're biased. No, you're biased. No,
it can't be. Dog.
Oh my God.
Nas dropped another joint.
The folks out there, Nas is one of my brother's favorite hip hop artists.
It can't just be me. He dropped another joint and it's fire. My guy
this is coming from a guy who has Illmatic on vinyl.
I just got the bias is there with that. All right, I just got that one. But bro, Hit Boy and Nas was a match made.
Yeah, Hit Boy.
I've heard Hit Boy and other stuff too. And I like Hit Boy and other production and other artists stuff. I mean, it's not always a hit. It's decent sometimes. It's not, there's some misses. But bro, Magic 2, they did it 5 for 5. Magic 2 is this guy's having, he's calling his third. Nas called it his third Renaissance. I remember what he called it. He said he's one of the tracks he was saying it like his third. So I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what the second was. I know the first, of course. You dropping, Illmatic, You know, it was written and then Stillmatic. You know, so yeah, that first start of your career was like, you know, that's a good. Was it from 94 to 2001? That's a good run. That's a good run. You know what I mean? You drop a couple other albums that aren't classic albums necessarily. That they may have some gems in there, but that's the normal trajectory. You know what I mean? Rappers maybe have a good 3-4 albums, and then they probably drop a couple of whatever, and then, you know, totally have a catalog of maybe 8 or 9 albums, and then they just can run around on their old shit when they do shows and stuff like that. This nigga is dropping new shit, and he's able to do shows. He can do shows on his new shit, not just the old hits. So I don't know exactly. I don't know when the second.
Do you think he's having like a resurgence?
I think this is the a second renaissance. He called it a third. I'm not sure when the second was. So I don't know if it was. So unless it's something outside of rap, because a lot of what these older rappers do is they get into business. You know what I mean? You know, he's got the, you know, some liquor business. I think he's doing he does with is it Hennessy?
Yeah, with Hennessy, he got some with Hennessy. Yep.
I think he got something with Hennessy. Matter of fact, he talked about that in one of the songs. He's talking about he introduced Tupac to Hennessy. He mentioned to, like, Tupac was like, "Well, what's this?" You know, he kind of thing. Like he actually introduced him. You know, Tupac said, so, you know, some Tupac lyrics when you think of that Hennessy and shit like that. So, you know, it's interesting to see that.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
If Nas was actually want to introduce him to that.
That's interesting.
But on the tail end of your career, you're not just off the business joint, you're actually you're putting albums out. And you put out 5 albums in the span of, like, I think it's like 3 years. 5 albums in 3 years. Busta Rhymes put out an album, I think last year. It was all right. But when was the last time you got a Busta Rhymes album? Probably like, what, 8 years ago?
Yeah, man.
8 years before that or something like that?
A minute, yeah.
Killer Mike has been doing the Killer Mike and LP joint, right? Which with the Run the Jewels, they've been doing for a while. But Killer Mike himself didn't put out an album in ages, right? Just a solo joint. And so it's like, you know, you have these other artists like that. They're statesmen. They're like, so they're dropping, even Jay-Z, you know what I mean? We dropped 444, which was great, but he hadn't dropped anything in a while. I mean, the last project he did before then was he did some joint with Beyonce. And then he did the, Watch the Throne with Kanye. Watch the Throne with Kanye, stuff like that. But like as a solo work, you know, it's been a minute, and this nigga this nigga linked up with Hit Boy, and I'm not tired of it. I'm not tired of it because it's like the dude is giving me gems. The dude is giving me gems, and y'all complained about Nas's beat selections his whole fucking career, right? Now he's got a dude that's giving him dope beats, and mind you, it's not like he's selling out and making nothing but fucking club joints. He's not doing Drake. He's not doing Drake shit. He's not turning into, you know, trying to turn some like you know, freaking The Baby and Migos and them doing stuff like that. He's still fucking giving you bars, and honing the craft and pushing the craft of rapping. Remember what I told you before about putting words and sentences together?
The artistry
of it. He's doing that. And
I can appreciate that,
And King's Disease 1, 2, and 3 was dope. He did Magic 1 with him, and now Magic 2. I need that. I didn't know it was dropping. I wasn't even looking out for it. I'm just so surprised because, like, and he's dropping with the frequency of these dudes that's dropping albums all the time. Like, freaking how many albums, like Jid dropping albums all the damn time. I love it. You know what I mean? I like him. So he's just dropping albums all the time. Freaking RJ Payne. You know what I mean? Like, drop an album a year. You know what I mean? Like, every year, boom, is gonna give you something. Matter of fact, I think the last year RJ dropped 2. You know, these artists are putting work out there fast. What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too. often.
They are. They're flooding the market for sure.
Right, they're flooding it, right? And even if it's just an EP they put out, and so for Nas to be like an elder statesman, who as an elder statesman, they're used to like, okay, maybe I'll drop something every 3 years, every 4 years, or even like I said, like a Jay-Z or Busta, that here's something something new to show you that I still got the wave, and I can still do this. Shit, Black Thought been dropping albums. Yeah, you know what I mean? Black Thought's another one that's been dropping. It's not as high frequency, but I think he dropped at least 2. I think he did one. He did the Danger Mouse joint. Yeah, I think Black Thought's been dropping like an album a year, like the past 4 years, if I recall. And there was one that was recently came out, and so that's dope that Nas can do that, and he found this producer that's working with him like that, and I'm not tired of it. It's not like, oh, I kind of feel I got all that energy already from KD2 or you know what I mean, or Magic 1. So it's like it's kind of getting stale. It's not stale at all. It's great stuff. I looked at where is this thing? I looked at the remember I told you one thing I like to do is go through and give it a thumbs up and see what my record is like on there, and so there's about 10 listening tracks on there if we remove the interludes, right, and the intro. 8 out of 10 thumbs up. 8 out of 10. And the other 2, I don't mind keeping it on. I'm just gonna play the album straight through. 8 out of 10 thumbs up. Bro, 50 has a feature.
Oh, Nas?
On a Nas joint. But they both from like Queens area and shit like that, right? So like that collab and stuff. So it's like, if 50 got the bars and that flow is nice. There's a little give and go at the end and everything. Like that shit is the shit. And with I ain't gonna lie,
that's kind of hard, Roy.
That shit goes. That track is dope. That's probably one of my favorite tracks on the Office Hours. It's called Office Hours. So check that one out.
I think what makes it interesting is like a 50 feature, like now with all that 50 is doing, is kind of clean because it's like it's not really expected.
He's like, I can still do this. He's like, I can still do this.
Like he still got that 50 Cent that you kind of like, that you kind of like that you kind of like you enjoyed hearing from like when 50 was really had the game on Smash back then. Like
when you say like I missed the old Kanye, it's like I missed the old 50.
Yeah,
but it's because he doesn't put live music out like that. I mean,
because
this is what I'm saying. He's doing all these other ventures and stuff. This is what you grow up in the game. You should be doing that. You add to your business portfolio and everything. But like Eros was his freaking Journey, the band Journey, and freaking. Excuse me, Paul McCartney and these guys, you know what I mean? They Elton John, I think Elton John is retiring now, finally, but not to say that he needs to, but like these other genres get to have old acts.
So much longevity.
Freaking Smokey Robinson just came out with a joint. You know what I'm saying? And so like, why not rappers? You know what I mean? So keep coming out with your work, keep putting work out there. As long as your shit's still, it's just dog. The proof is in the pudding, dog. Your shit banging, the people gonna love it, people gonna flock to it. There's probably people that are like 10 years, 15 years younger than us now that just heard Nas for the first time in KD1, for example. And they put it on, and if they really like hip hop, if they're into like the Griselda joints, they're into like Earth Gang and
they definitely gonna like Nas.
Then they like they're into J. Cole and these guys. They would hear Nas coming across their feed, they'd be like, oh. They would never even think to go look up this guy's age.
Yeah.
The nigga is 49.
Wow.
That boy is 49.
Oh, that boy Nas is, he up there.
Having a whole resurgence on your ass. Right. And it's not even a resurgence necessarily. You can't even, it's almost not fair to call it that because he's been out here. He's been putting in the work. And granted, some albums have been like a little bit lackluster, but he still did the work. He still put it out there. And to now where he gets to be matched up with this person, it's like you finally have that piece that you needed when they do work together. Him and Hit Boy, I feel like. So some producers, right? I guess it's most what happens. This doesn't happen often, but a lot of times there's these producers that will like have a beat. They will sell you the beat as an artist, whatever, right? Or
Mhm.
or you have you lay down your vocals, whatever, and with the beat, and then you send it off to some other place, and and they engineer it all and just make sure it matches and everything. And y'all could be all in different states, making an album together.
Yeah.
In different, bro. This the
Yep.
shortest, the way that Magic 2 comes across, I feel like they moved into a house together, and they produced
High
that
praise.
bit. They
That's
put
high
their
praise.
head down.
Mhm.
They locked themselves in the same
praise.
room
Yeah.
and had that bit DoorDash, whatever the fuck they needed.
Mhm.
Like it felt that symbiotic, like in terms of like the way Hit Boy's production would meld with Nas's cadence or particular affectation at the time that he wants to come across. It's just a great collabo. Irvin Magic Johnson, track number 7 with back to back with the what this really means. That shit goes. That shit goes. I love the fact that he has several references. I like this too. I like when artists do that. There's several references in here. The album's called Magic 2, man. Talk about some magic shit, damn it.
Yeah.
The first song is called Abracadabra. You know what I mean? And there's some lyrics in here where he's talking about, he's talking about my hands is too quick. Check your card. He's like, my hands is too quick. Check your pockets for my card. Or for the car or some shit like that. Well, he said something like that, right? And so like, yeah, that's kind of cool that he actually kept the theme for that thing. So I don't know if he maybe considered is Magic. Maybe Magic is considered a concept album. I didn't look that part up, but this is sort of thing you would do when you call it a concept art or concept album. And it all ends with one mic, one gun, right? Which is, of course, you go back, all I need is one mic, one mic. And this one is featuring 21 Savage. So there's 2 features, there's 50 Cent and 21 Savage.
Interesting.
And the song it's fucking beautiful, man. It's like, it's the type of thing where, okay, I'm listening to this album and I'm thinking, I'm having a conflict in my head. I'm like, damn, man, this is just good. He's got 5 for 5. This nigga should retire. Just don't do no more. Just don't do nothing else. Just stop it. Just I want him to, because I like seeing the GOATs go out on top, dog. Like fucking what, Tom Brady? What you doing? Like as much as I hate Tom Brady, but like bro, like you won the Super Bowl in the Tampa Bay, bro. Retire for good. You came back that last year and it was trash. The whole squad was trash. Like everything
for sure.
Come on, man. Go on top when you still can't. Like you being, I don't know, man. People just
It's greed. It's greed. It's greed.
You don't know what to do with yourself or something, dog. So the piece of me just want to
that too. Yeah.
Piece of me wants Nas to be like, okay, that's it. Yeah, I'm done. Drop the mic. But I also have this other thought in my head. I still need something else though. I need this is weird. This is gonna be weird. But I want Nas to do a Drake album. Like a Drake style album. I want to see if he could actually make some if he could make it. Like this is, and he doesn't have to. This isn't his style.
I see what you're saying.
Could Nas be like, you know what, just to show y'all, you know what I mean? I could make a bunch of radio hits. We still play If I Rule the World. If we, that was on the radio. That was a radio hit.
Yeah.
Would that play in the club?
I think it was because that was at a time where hip hop was like collectively, people like the boom bap was collectively what we all accepted as like hip hop. So that's
it wasn't so what I'm saying is, not right now, it's like the hip hop is pop music.
Yeah, exactly.
This Drake shit is pop music, right?
Pop music, that's what it is.
And so could Nas make a pop hip hop album with like some booty shaking shit in there, some club shit in there, some like poppy shit. You know what I mean? Like like Tootsie Slide type shit, or
you know what? I think it is possible. I think he could, because he had a song that was like that, Uchiwali. You remember that song?
Yeah, Uchiwali. Yep.
Yeah, like that was a club.
But I'm saying, like, so if he did,
he has the ability to do so. I think.
I want to see him put together an album,
like a whole album like that. That would be interesting.
Just for the LOLs, dog. Just for the lols. Okay. But if he doesn't do that, the one thing that I definitely would love to have from it, bro, I could die happy if Nas and Jay-Z did a Watch the Thrones too. If it was just Nas and Jay-Z.
But people have been asking for that for decades, though.
I'm talking about
we've been asking for
album. Give me a
we've been asking
too.
Bro, we've been asking for that for decades.
Call that bit and that bit'll be Magic 3. Make that bit Magic 3. This Magic 2.
To be
make
honest,
that bit Magic 3. I only Kanye to produce. I only Kanye produce it. It could still be Hit Boy.
I ain't gonna I think that would be fire. Like, cause that's something that I think like hip hop fans have been wanting for decades, though.
And they on the same team now.
Yeah.
And they on the same team now.
Yeah.
Bro, you put Nas and Jay-Z on an album, dog. Like Magic 3.
It's almost like they kind of have to, man. Like
they do it.
They gotta have to at some point. Like they
should do it, and they could both then drop the mic on everybody. It's like we done. Yeah. We are in the rafters. We are on Mount Rushmore.
They could definitely very well do that.
Right? I mean,
yeah. Nas
and Jay-Z, you know, in my top 3. That's me. This album called this is wild. It's called a Ferrosphere, right? It's not a real word. The nigga made it up, right?
Definitely a made up word.
It's a made up word, right? By Big Wild. Big Wild. Actual name is Jackson Snell. He is he's a producer, really. What he is, he's like a hit boy, right? Matter of fact, how he got started in the game was in high school producing beats, influenced by Dre, by Kanye, by NERD, Pharrell and them, Timbaland. These were the styles of genre that influenced this white boy, right? Shout out to him, though, you know what I mean? But it's like, hey, yo, you gotta give where you get the culture from, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure you shout them out every time you do, you know what I mean? And pay some homage. And so he then later got, and he used to make a living like this. This is how he made money, right? By selling beats and stuff. He got into college and got more into the electronic dance music vibe, you know, and so he later was able to meld some of the skills and the sounds and the beat, you know, especially with EDM, that bass drops, you know what I mean? That beat drops, you know, that's a big part is the drop in some songs. And he transitioned a lot of the stuff he learned from his hip hop production into his electronic kind of sound that he has now. So the album a Ferrosphere actually dropped last year. So that's not what the vibes is currently. That's just some background, right? And by the way, his name is Big Wild, and what that is generally he went out to Cali, and I think it's Cali. There's an area called Big Surf or something like that, and
yes.
and it gave him this vision of like wow, this is this planet, this Earth, this like you're just looking at the wide deserts, you know what I mean, and everything. He's like, it's just a wild world out there. This is a big wild world, and so this kind of stuck with him, Big Wild. So that's how he got in. You know, just random name. I mean, shit. We had a band called Smashing Pumpkins. You know what I mean? Artists naming themselves stuff. Okay.
We had a band called Green Day, which we found out.
Green Day found out a whole lot different. Than what it was about.
Found out why they called us Green Day. Like, okay.
Right? Shit. I still don't even know why this nigga's name is. What's this nigga's name is? NBA Young Boy Never Broke or something. Oh yeah, what's his name?
Never Broke Again. Never
broke again. Like that's that dude. You know what I mean? Shit, Ray Schmurda.
Yeah.
Backwards is drummer's ear. It's like, you know, so the nigga name is Big Wild, and the album is called Effort Space. Now, what is that? You made up a word. Okay, well, Aquemini, you know what I mean? It was a word that's made up also, right? A portmanteau of Aquinas and Gemini, I guess, right? Aquarius and Gemini. What he means by a ferrosphere is this space, this meditative space, this self-reflection space, this kind of like almost like psychedelic kind of awareness, right? Self-awareness kind of space. So that's kind of what he means by that. I don't think you'll find it in any dictionary anywhere, but that's the whole point of that. And the album does have those. It's electronic music, you know what I mean? So you get a lot of like trance fixed like beats and like that puts you in the trance kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like this is just the way that EDM kind of goes, right? and it puts you in the zone, and you're like just vibing out. So the original, that was the name of the original. This one is called a Ferrosphere with Friends. And bruh, that shout outs to you for your original album, but the Friends part made it a lot better. This album is way better. This album is way better. It was good. The other one was good. The other was good, but bro, he's got all these. Every song is featured with somebody else, like a different producer that he brings in, or a vocalist, or some other collaboration that he does. So that's why it's called With Friends, because these are people that are collaborating with him on these songs that he wrote previously.
Yeah, gotcha.
Freaking, which one is this one here? The Feel Good is way better in the Corey Wong production. That's the song originally he sung the other one. This version is way better. Freaking Blue, way better. Walking Outside, the clip that we used was Something in the Water that we used for the Vibes clip. Was the song called Something in the Water. And that one hit harder, dog. It just hit harder. I'm sorry. Than the original, you know? And so he's going to do numbers with this, because if you was a fan of the first one, you know what I mean, giving you a refreshed album that feels completely new. The songs still have, of course, the elements of the original, but it's so fresh. It's its own album, and I hope it gets all the credit and more that the first one did. I start off by saying he's a producer, he's a musician.
Yeah.
He's not even a vocalist. He had to get singing lessons for a Ferrosphere, the last year's album. He had to give. So he like with that song Feel Good. He was nervous with that one. He's like, that's his most challenging song. Like the falsettos that you have to hit on that one, and then like it gets some low notes in there in the same one. Like, nigga, I'm a producer, I'm an engineer, you know what I mean? And, and but it's he can't, you know, he worked on it, he practiced at it, he was naturally gifted at it, and it sounds good. It sounds good. He's not I'm not saying he's gonna be something. You would never know. You listen to him, you would never know this guy is not a vocalist. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's some freaking great freaking Anthony Hamilton type singing type. I'm not saying all that. You know what I mean? But like, you would never know. You'd be like, oh, this is just another rock artist. Got me freaking what's his name? Freaking the front man for freaking, what's his name? Anthony. Damn it, what's this dude's name? The front man for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, I don't know. You going in right now?
What's this dude's name? I'm Acho. I'm a little Acho Lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Anthony Kiedis. His name, right? So Anthony Kiedis. And he's not a great singer, but like them songs hit when he sing them. You know what I mean? They hit when he sings them.
He has a sound. He has a sound.
He has a sound, right? Yeah. And so you know, check, definitely. I'll say this though. There's a lot of the first album was a little bit more electronic than this one. This one definitely has 4 or 5 songs that maintain that that sort of genre. But a lot of the other ones, why I think this album is gonna have a little bit more reach, because some of these songs turn more into like alternative funk rock.
Okay.
Which I love. You know, that's my bag too. So that's great. But I also appreciate, you know, an electronic album. You know, especially I'm not a big fan of just the instrumental EDM joint. It's all right, you know, background kind of stuff. But like, I'm not gonna really download and listen to just like the instrumental EDM, but like the vocal singing EDM with the EDM beats and bass and all that kind of stuff in the background with somebody singing with some like really stellar freaking astronomical sounding, space sounding, psychedelic sounding vocals. You know what I mean? It's like, boom, it gets you into this vibe. Like it's real wavy. But this one has a lot of this version has a lot of like funk, alt rock, indie rock, where you could probably you'll hear it on the radio almost kind of thing, right? So there's a little bit more commercial appeal available on this album, so I think it'll have more of a reach, and I'm hoping it does just as great numbers as the previous one.
Oh, that's awesome, man! So definitely, guys, check out those recommendations, and I still think Darwin is a little cap when it comes to the Nas. I still feel there's some bias there, but I'll accept.
Crazy.
I'll accept his assessment for now.
Those 5 albums alone are classic albums, though.
No, yeah, right? I have been hearing that. I have been hearing that.
Like KD 1, 2, and 3, and then the 2 Magic albums. They're classic albums. And then you let's say you add just the first 3, his from his career. Mm-hmm. That's 8 albums minimum. And some people might argue with you about, some of the other ones where you would say rap is dead or hip hop is dead.
Yeah.
Or I am, so somebody might argue with you for some of these other ones, whatever. But like, so perhaps there's 9 to 10 classic albums this person gives you.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be fucking top 5 on everybody's list.
Yeah, I know. You make a valid point, because when I think about it, like, we already know Illmatic, Stillmatic. We already know that's nobody argues that.
And let's say you just count the KD series.
KD, that's 5 right there.
That's 5.
Yeah. And depending on how you feel about Magic 1, that's just but you're saying Magic 2 is definitely it. So even if I didn't agree with you with Magic 1, that's still 6 right there. Like even if I would, which is for any rapper, that's stellar.
That's stellar. So some rappers don't even have 6 albums, period.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Come on, man. He's supposed to be top 5 on everybody's list.
That's crazy.
Like Jay-Z said, we'll see how it goes when he no longer exists. Yeah, man. So all of that was the vibes, and we covered a lot today. And most of it is on this global warming shit. We better start. Another thing I didn't mention as a mitigation for that is living in higher elevations. We got to get up on these mountains, get up on these hills. Those hills that we was mountain climbing and hiking the other day. There's gonna be a lot more houses up there. There's gonna be a lot more development up there, because people can't live lower anymore, because the freaking the floods and the flash floods and the freaking droughts that's happening down there. And the only place where there's greenery left is in the mountains. We're gonna have to we should build in a way that incorporate the natural landscape. But guess what? We're not going to be encroaching in where the last bit of space of the diversity and the biodiversity was happening. We're going to be encroaching on more bear territory. We're going to be encroaching on more eagle territory and more, the beavers and shit. We're going to be encroaching more and more of their territory. And so we're going to have to learn to either live with them or freaking just stay our ass down here and suffer and build fucking water world, because we're either gonna be on fucking jet skis living from freaking floating city to floating city,
or being like the sea people in Avatar.
Or like sea people in Avatar, developing some gills or some shit like that. Yeah. Or it's gonna be we're gonna have water world on one side, and we're gonna have freaking Mad Max on the other side. It's gonna be all desert.
Yeah.
So this is what's gonna happen. The future is foretold. So yeah, that's the whole climate change joint there. We gave y'all an update on what's going on with Jonathan Majors. So we'll see where that case goes. Florida schools is wild, and take your kids out the Florida schools unless y'all gonna find a way to take y'all state back. Y'all people that's not down there voting, y'all don't think voting is just, we talk about all this stuff. Voting ain't an interesting way of talking about voting, people dying for the right to vote and all that kind of stuff. And now you realize that your kid is getting freaking indoctrinated that that fucking slavery was fun and games or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Slavery was that one other book that they had that said they stopped calling them slaves, they called them
service.
Not indentured service, they call them something like workers or something like that.
Oh, okay,
they call them workers. Some shit in some book. They stopped using the word slavery or some shit. But so like I think that was in Texas. But yo, they coming for you. Hide your kids, hide your wife. My God, you know what I mean?
Get in Florida.
Get it together down there. Tupac, you know what I mean, is alive. No, I'm just kidding. He's not alive. Turns out they're still pushing the case forward, and they have some new evidence to hopefully maybe somebody revisit that joint and it could bring us closer to a resolution. Check out the FIFA Women's World Cup still going on. And then Haiti's still in there, you know what I mean? Shout out to the ladies team. And of course the US team, defending champs, they rocking, they doing anything. So overall it's a good tournament to check out. But that's
Definitely
it, man.
tap in.
We did it. Got another one in the books.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, it's the season finale. We hope you guys enjoyed it. So stay safe, y'all.
All right, pour la view, changer tempo.
It's challenge day.